some private.
He emailed some government business that was nothing was classified.
In your PC.
She did some.
They tried to.
We're buddy.
We're up. How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. I like saying buddy.
Anyway.
I say, buddy. What is your real name, buddy?
Buddy.
Carl?
Carl.
Carl? You don't like Carl?
People can be called.
When you were little, were you Bubba?
No.
Who gave you the name Buddy, buddy?
Yeah. Well, this is supposed. I've heard this, and I don't know if it's totally true, but people that are named Harry in the olden days would go by Bud. Okay.
Harry.
Yeah. So
Harry
just
Bra-
like Harry
it's just
Brainerd.
like
My
those-
grandfather was Harry Brainerd Mitchell, and he
Harry
went
Brainerd.
by Bud, and my dad went by Bud. And
I
you know
can
how
say-
like Dick is short for Richard?
Yeah, like that in Italians, you know what's short for Vincent?
What?
Jim.
Vinny. Yeah.
Jim.
Jim?
Vinny.
Jim.
Okay, a
Italian.
lot of Vincents are Jim.
Okay, I'm calling a Clint on you.
Well, you can't because I'm Italian. And
It doesn't matter if you're Italian. Vincent is Vinny.
No, they have that. That's right in America.
Jim. You know what Fred is? And
Well,
Jim.
anyway,
I don't know. But
A lot of them have been Vinny, but it truly. And by the way, Vincent has been Vincenzo. And
Vincenzo.
it's,
Yeah, you should have known.
Hey,
that.
I want pepperoni and Vincenzo on that pizza. Anyway,
but
that's where
there are a lot of weird
supposedly-
nicknames. Like where did Richard and Dick?
What's this lasagna?
Where did Richard and Dick?
Spaghettios.
I need to get my
Richard
That's
could be
real
Rick,
Italian.
and Rick could be
Spaghettios. Now that's Italian.
I'm getting
Like a
I'm
mozzarella.
Actually, pizza's not.
Bring me some regallica bread. Eh? See, that's Italian's the easiest language to speak. You just overemphasize shit.
I put an O in the end of
Have
it.
you been doing bio-T? No, but I'm getting real close
I
because
did.
he's
Okay,
finally. I'll tell you. He's been scaring me.
No, I did.
Are we online right now?
Yes, I can put you off.
No.
Built Ford proud. Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class of light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm not on bio.
People have asked me.
No, between her and Suzanne, I'm this close, man.
I'm in a better mood.
I have a friend that's you're funnier.
I'm funnier.
One of my friends from high school started it.
Bio-T?
And then he and the guy that invented it.
You going to the hormone bros? Oh no, they're way too far for you.
They got into the owner, the guy that invented it, and my buddy who was the CEO got into a rift and a split. And so my buddy went and bought with his money the factory that makes it.
Oh, really?
And they just started a new program called the Vexus. I'm going there instead. The bio-T. It's here. It's at Denver Vein Center on Hampton.
So it's not bio-T, it's a different...
It's exactly the
It
same
doesn't-
thing,
How do they make it?
except it's better. I don't know. They make it from beets.
Beets?
Yeah. It's bio-identical.
Actually, like that new clock to start when I started, not just necessarily January 1st. Just, not that I don't trust you, but just we should kick it off with me.
First of all, that clock is not even a new clock. I'm convinced of it now.
Well, okay, but it's their clock that we never use,
That's an injection. It's the same bit.
right? I mean,
No, that is literally.
it's new to us.
No, it's not. It's the clock we're on right now. I'm convinced of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm convinced of it.
I'm
I'll pull up the one me and you did for KRDO 2 years ago or 3. I bet it's the exact same one.
I do the same. I
Just ask. Let's go look at the log.
40.
Hold on, I'm emailing somebody else.
So just not doing anything more.
bio-T will change
It's so, but
Yeah.
It's
So
amazing.
I'm good with it.
Bio-T is amazing. I love it.
See, I had vertigo read it, and I thought that was part of it. It was a totally different thing. That's
But
what
my
got
buddy
me.
Dan was the CEO of bio-T. Was the CEO of bio-T.
I know all of them. Who is he?
Dan Denai. He left and started his own
Maybe-
after the guy that invented it.
It was just Dr. D, we call him.
Yeah.
He's the one that developed it.
He developed it, and he hired Dan to grow it.
Okay.
Dan grew it.
But
and then-
Dr. D stayed in charge the whole time. In other words, this guy was probably like the business guy, right?
Yeah.
Your guy, the one
Yeah,
that
but he just basically, he started his own now.
did he, huh?
And he bought the factory, from what he told me, and he bought the factory that makes it.
Well, the pellets are not special.
No.
In fact, everyone who does pellet therapy uses the same. but most of them. But here's the deal with BioT. Dr. D developed the dosing and also the accompanying estrogen and the thyroid all combined. Not in the pellet for the thyroid, but developed the system for and then he also developed whatever that supplement is that complements.
Dim?
Yes. Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. I love saying that. It really is. And you know what? You benefit from it because we help people. Now, we have a couple lines open already right now. Usually they're filled up when we start. 303-713-TALK. This hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans. You know, what this show does is, really, it's the only show of its kind that does this. We integrate the sponsors in with content because they are part of it. In fact, our experts we send out to look at stuff, they are the experts on our referral list. So if we have somebody go out and look at windows, it's probably from K&H Home Solutions. If we have somebody go look at, foundations, it's one of our foundation experts. We love it. We have taken a community of businesses and combined them with the show, so we serve you in one big unit. Like Ideal Home Loans, you know, they do these free second opinions, for example. If you're in a loan and your loan package has been taken a while and you want someone to review it, Ideal does that. Really, they do. IdealHomeLoans.com. They will review your loan package, and guess what? You're not tied to a lender until you close. So if you have any questions about what's going on and you don't like it, you can call Ideal, and they'll go over it, and if you want to transfer to them, fine. If everything's progressing smoothly, fine, but you can get a free second opinion. I love that. IdealHomeLoans.com, and of course they have the interest rate guarantee, which means you refinance free of charge if rates go down. You can call them for details, 303-867-7000, IdealHomeLoans.com. Buddy Mitchell's in with us today. Speaking of referrals, he's a floor expert. Now, Buddy chimes in on a little bit of everything. And we love Buddy and the way he does business, so if you have any questions for Buddy, give us a call, or just he's going to chime in. But anything new in floors since we last talked? I mean, floors are floors are floors. This is a very busy time. I imagine people, for some reason, like getting things done for the holidays, right?
Yeah, the new thing is Trump extended, so
Trump extended what?
Extended the tariffs for 90 days.
What does that mean for floor coverings? I don't understand that.
All LVT is imported from China. So in September there was a 10% hit, and there was going to be another 15% January 1st, but now it's been pushed to April 1st. So
okay, fine. That means that it's less money, basically.
Well, it's not going to go up 15%.
Right, that's what I mean. It's not going to go up. So the tariffs are simply passed on to consumers, isn't that true?
Yeah, it's just passed on. And so like on the higher end LVTs, if things were going to go up $1.50 a square foot.
Right.
And if you have 1,000 square feet, that's $1,500 overnight.
303-713-TALK. Brian, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino, and you have a furnace. What's going on?
Good morning, sir. Yes.
Hey, is this a new furnace?
It's a new furnace. It was installed 2 days ago.
Who did it?
We think they're from Colorado Works.
Okay. Now, Brian, what did you pay? I'm just curious about the basics. What did you pay?
$1,750.
$1,700?
Yeah.
That's very low priced for a brand new furnace installed.
Uh-huh.
Well, you got yourself a really low price. Now, that...
How much did he say?
$1,750. Now, that usually means problems. Now, I don't want people to think that you automatically have to pay a lot of money. You don't. But to have a legit company, I would say it's damn near impossible to do a furnace for $1,750. Now, I'm not talking about you right now. I'm saying in general, people, I think you have to be suspect of overly high prices, and overly or underly, however you want to put it, low prices. You really have to be suspect. Because if it's... Yeah, so anyway, how did you find the guy? That's interesting for me. How did you find him?
Girl from a family member said that he did an outstanding job.
Okay.
On his furnace. It was real clean, blah, blah, blah.
All right. So what kind of furnace is it?
It is a off-brand furnace.
Okay. 80%? 80%?
80%.
What size home?
It's probably a stolen furnace.
What size?
No, I actually picked it up with him.
What size?
George T. Sanders Company. It's
What?
70,000
BTU. Now, tell me about it. What's the problem?
Well, our heat went out 6 days ago in the middle of the night, so
that's why you got a new one. That's not the part. I'm concerned about the problem.
The install, he came out, he put it in. Well, he took the other one out first.
Of course. We don't need to know all this. We just need to know the problem.
He did a crappy job.
Okay.
Lots of problems. I had Dave from Fix It 24/7, says he knows you, come out last night. He spent 2 hours with me going over problems. Nothing but problems.
So Fix It 24/7 took a look at it for you, and I appreciate those guys. And what did they say? But what did they say about the furnace itself?
Crappy install. The furnace itself is an off-brand, nothing they would ever use.
But it is a new furnace, right?
But it is a brand new furnace.
Can they fix it up without spending too much, without doing it all over?
I talked to Dave this morning. He said no.
What? Oh, I know what. I know what.
They don't want to buy
that. No, that's right. They don't want to
pick up their problems.
You can't blame them, because if you have problems in the future, you're going to say, "Hey, fix it. You know, you did a bad job," and they wouldn't have put it in to begin with. What did they say was wrong mainly? Like, what's wrong?
There's two tubes when the exhaust. There's a one that draws air down, and there's the exhaust that goes out. Those tubes have to connect, that go through the roof. They're not connected. That's why it will not stay lit. And
well, that alone can be fixed, though.
It can be fixed, yes, if I come down here like where I'm at now and get a new stack. But
hold on one sec. Fix It, did you call them under their $39 special where they come out and find a problem, or did you just say, I
had to pay $89.95 for him to come out.
Okay, so this was to do what?
To come out and get us heat, because we have
that's
heat.
Different. Okay, all right. But to find, just to let people know, normally if you had a situation like this where you have a problem, they charge $39 to find the problem, and then they apply that toward whatever they have to do to fix something. And
right, which was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
She said,
I understand.
If they do the work, the $89 is not
right.
It is then taken off.
Yeah. Okay. So. Well, they did get you heat or not then?
No, we still have no heat.
Okay. I wish you would have called on the $39 at least. You would have had $39 call, because if you called, it's usually first 5, first 10 callers or something. So right now, let me put the word out. It's not $39 right now with all this cold weather. They can't do the $39 problem, but they will do 30. They just, I'm just getting word now. They'll do $39 to find any problem with plumbing and with electric. They can't do heating right now because they're running all over town. So, but even $89 wasn't that much. But I just want to tell people that $39 applies to electric and to plumbing, and if you have work done, they will apply it. Now, on Brian's problem, he didn't do the special, but it was $89. They would have applied it, but they said to Brian, this thing is crappy, has to be redone, and I understand. But I still think, even though Fix It 24/7 doesn't want to own that job, they call it, they don't want to take on that responsibility, I am sure we can probably find someone who can at least get it to where it should be. Or what about the original?
I know somebody, no problem, on the referral list.
Okay, what you do? That will go and at least fix that up? Wow. Good. Now, Brian, what I want to know is, I mean, the furnace itself, even though it's an off-brand, it's new, we can get that thing running. It's not going to be that terrible. But this guy, was he fraudulent or just incompetent? There's a difference. Did he leave knowing there were problems there? Did he leave knowing that? Oh, by the way, Fix It, they asked me to give the number out. I'm sorry, because I told about that special. It's for plumbing and electric. 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939. Now, listen.
Where is this guy, real quick?
Who is the? Yeah, can we find this guy? Why doesn't he fix it?
Because his story was somebody's cheating with his wife and threatened to kill her, and he has to take care of his wife, so he can't come out and finish the job. His minions that were left.
Wow, we've heard a lot of them. That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Well, listen. By the way.
Yeah, I have it all in text message.
Okay, listen. What is his name?
His name is Cody. His wife's name is Shauna.
Well, we really don't care about her. Hey, Shauna.
Well,
hold on. Hey, Clint, did I hear you talking to Shauna the other day? Okay, so.
What area is this guy in? What area are you in? You?
Yeah, where are you?
We live 104th and Federal, which is Federal
Yeah,
Heights.
we can get somebody out there.
He says he lives in Parker. I think he operates out of Denver.
But you know what? Here's the
sure.
deal. If we get somebody else to fix this and you paid $17.50, unless there are major problems, and I'm not talking about like with Fix-It wanting to do it perfectly from the beginning, but you knew you weren't going to get an $8,000 job anyway and a high efficiency. You knew what you were getting. So here's what I want to do. I want to hook somebody up to help you. There's no reason to drum this into the ground. But Brian, you do need to get us information, please, on the company and the guy's full name so we can warn others. Please do that for us, okay? And while we're talking about...
Hold on, just real quick, though. My God, he paid $1,700 for a furnace installed. I'm not so sure what else he should have expected, don't you? Isn't that insane?
Okay. They shouldn't have left the pipes unconnected, for goodness sakes.
$1,700. $1,700.
303-713-TALK. Okay, now listen. While we're talking about this, let's do K&H Home Solutions because we're talking about energy efficiency. You know, most of your air is going right out those windows and those bad, drafty, terrible windows. K&H Home Solutions, for this month, 75% off labor, which is a big deal. It really is. 75% off labor for windows, doors, and siding. K&H Home Solutions. Really, K&H Home Solutions is a company that can help you all over your home, from roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, and doors, and the siding they have is the very best they make. So that's they want you to make your own appointments online for your convenience. khwindows.com, khwindows.com, 75% off labor. khwindows.com.
Duck tigers. He's got. Yeah, what about? I just got a fax.
Okay, so for your records, we got ideal.
They're the bad ones. They're the ones that go in there and try to
see how we snuck that down.
Yeah, they charge you $500. It's an old fax. Do we care about it?
Well, this is the old guy there that got
I
it.
checked online.
You guys
It runs
need
around
this or not?
50. Clint was dealing with that yesterday.
I'm
Larry,
I don't know if I have the fax.
someone whose wife's been terminally ill for 4 years. Okay, what do you want me to do with that Brian guy? I think so. Don't you think that's a pretty damn good deal? I thought I would call just on the factory and find out how much theirs is. But I think this is a rock. JM? Jason Murphy?
Yeah, call Jason and say, hey, will you go out? He had a generic furnace installed. He did it wrong.
I am, but I know how to spell kudos.
I'm not asking for any discounts, but ask him if he would do that as a favor.
Today?
No, it doesn't have to be today, as soon as you can.
I know.
But tell him like that, say, we think you'd be perfect for this, there's labor involved, there's other stuff, but the guy bought a generic furnace.
But he doesn't have to give him.
He's the only one I know that might do it. I mean, they're good guys.
So I told Tom, GE Monogram, it's a $5,700 unit, 53 when I looked online. They're offering me a replacement for $2,200.
For who?
For my oven that caught on fire. That's pretty good, huh?
How old is it?
7 years. They
Oh,
have a
are
warranty.
you kidding? It's a great deal. Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Absolutely
Fuck yeah.
great deal.
I think I did pretty dang good.
It doesn't the
Troubleshooting for myself.
You should upgrade, though, to something nicer.
The 80% don't have those two.
Monogram at the top.
No, it's not.
GE.
So it has
Oh,
to be higher than
GE.
80%.
I just...
If you like cheap appliances, that's
what
okay.
comes in, makes off.
I'll tell you what, you want a dishwasher? We bought the Bosch dishwasher.
Does it work good?
Oh my God.
I
That
have
dishwasher
those
I'm listening to.
stupid
They're
drawers,
cast.
they're awful.
The Bosch is the best dishwasher you will have.
Okay, because that's my next thing I'm getting.
So he must,
Bosch.
my point is.
Bosch.
If he got
It's
at least
Oh,
an
B-
85%.
B-O, it's German.
USA.
They have
SCA.
They have this
Just
rack on the
So this
top
is the way
you can put knives on and stuff. It's like so cool.
I'm gonna remember that.
Stolen cars. Hell has frozen over. I agree with Mark. The guy has been stealing the cars. That's funny.
I doubt it. No, I doubt it too. In fact, we got dinner at Ruth's Christie. We got a
Ruth's Christie, okay. Sounds like my neighbors.
Ruth Christ.
We got.
I can't say that because we don't tacos.
Only when the Rockies win, with 3 home runs in the third.
What's your T level, buddy?
It was so low, that's crazy.
No.
Naturally, what was it naturally?
like around 100 or less.
Holy shit!
Like me, mine was like 185.
What arena?
Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was really low. And then,
I haven't jacked
you know what gets me
Four.
is when it wears off because I'm like totally wore off.
Me too.
My joints hurt.
I know. I can tell at the end of my thing.
Really?
It's like it will blow you away. It's
Really?
like how old you feel.
Once
How
you
old you feel
you're
when
gonna
you don't
love
have it.
Oh, I
Because
like
you know
it.
how you know how people complain about when they get old, their aches and pains.
Is it drastic though?
Oh,
Like boom, you're out.
It depends. You know what? It kind of is because you're so used to being like really normal, and it's not a bad thing.
It's a, because I miss shots.
All of a sudden your knees hurt, like when you hit 50, because I turned 50, and all of a sudden my knees start hurting, my joints start hurting.
Like more or worse?
Like worse, because I'm getting
realize
old.
all you're
I've been
doing
on
is
it for
fooling
3
your
years.
body.
Oh, you've been on for 3 years.
You're fooling your body. You're making your body think you're younger.
No, it's not. It's you know.
I do weekly
That's
shots.
exactly what
So
you're
on the
doing.
last day,
You're fooling your shit.
on the last day of life.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's what you're doing.
I don't care. If I died 3 years sooner, so what?
I don't think you'll die sooner. You might live longer.
Yeah,
I would
According
never
to Tom, it's good for the heart.
It's good for the heart.
I would never get on it, would you?
I would never stop.
Good for the prostate.
He doesn't want bionic eyes, though.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
I would
He likes
never
the
stop
stupid lenses.
hormone therapy.
The lenses I went for can see gas.
My wife does.
Not you. Stop it. Bullshit. I want to browse my calendar.
Well,
What's the matter?
what are they up it to?
I don't know. You know what?
I see mine went to 1240.
Yeah, mine got up over 1,000.
Alexa, play KH.
Which is what you are when you're 18 years old.
From iHeartRadio.
Like up in the 12 or whatever.
No, I definitely, the mood is the biggest
You know,
thing.
if you have prostate cancer, it'll set it on fire. But if you,
No, I don't think so.
No, if you have it, it'll set it on fire.
Really?
But it'll prevent it.
Okay.
If you don't have it, it'll help prevent it. So that's why I've been.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Excel Roofing, I very seldom ever say anything but great things. And now, by the way, there's nothing else to say, but what I mean is this. There's nothing else to say but great things about Excel. And the worst thing I might say about Excel is they're too busy. But they will get to you. Excel Roofing is such a superior company that every company should be run like Excel. When you hear me talk about businesses and how they should be run, you'll hear me talk about Simply Floors, Fix It 24/7, and Excel Roofing. Not because I'm saying that no other businesses run well, but these are models of how to run a business. So Excel Roofing, Jay Brett, you may say, well, I just want a roof. I don't care how he runs his business. But here's the point. Because he runs his business so efficiently and so well and treats everyone well, he's not chasing dollars to make up for losses. He's not robbing Peter to pay Paul, as that saying goes. So not a penny is collected until you are 100% satisfied. He's never going to jam you into a contract and expect payment and delay a job. That's it. You need help, Excel Roofing. And how long have we known him? I've known him since I've been in Colorado. Our children grew up together playing with each other. We still go out and do play dates with the kids. Seriously, 303-761-6400, excelroofing.com, 303-761-6400. Let's talk to Guy, and Guy has a really serious problem here. Guy, go ahead. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah. About 3 years ago, I signed for a truck for my son, and he was a co-signer.
Yeah, you're both primary signers. The word co-signer sometimes gives the impression that it's a little less of an obligation, but I understand. So you and your son co-signed on a truck.
Yeah.
Okay, and that can never ever benefit anyone. By the way, it can do no harm, but it never benefits you. Never. It's just high risk. So what happened 3 years ago? Co-signed. How much was the loan?
I can't remember exactly, but anyway.
Give me an idea. Was it less than 20,000?
More.
Was it less than 50,000?
Yeah.
Between 20 and 50 grand. So we'll say, okay. So what happened?
So he made payments on it for quite a while, and then he stopped. he ran into some problems.
And did he let you know were you on the mailing list?
Yes, they were sending me.
Good. And this is a programming note and a tip for consumers. When you first of all, don't co-sign, okay? Don't. That's the best thing. But if for some strange reason you had a lapse of judgment and went crazy, always make sure you're on the mailing list so at least you know when there's something awry with the account. Go ahead. What happened then?
Yeah. So anyway, they sent me notices saying he wouldn't pay the bank, and he still wasn't paying. And so eventually, long story short, they went up and they confiscated the
they repossessed it.
Repossessed it.
And then they sell it.
And then they sold it, and then
there's a deficiency. Usually there's what's called a deficiency. That means you owe the bank a certain amount of money. They sell the asset for a certain amount of money, and then whatever is left is a debt or a credit. Very seldom, I would venture to say almost never do you get a credit because vehicles depreciate so quickly. So I'm imagining you're facing a deficit.
Yeah, about
how much?
$10,000.
$10,000. Okay. The only thing you can do, to fight something like that is to make sure it was done properly. In other words, that a vice president at a bank did not sell it to his son, wink, wink, for way under market. That usually never happens. Okay, I'm not going to say never ever, but lenders are pretty smart. They're not going to openly break a law. That's the only defense you have. That's the only thing you have is to fight it, is that they did not do it properly. They did not do the repossession and sale properly. Otherwise, Guy, I'm just going to come straight out, man. Why waste time? You owe the money.
Yeah. Okay, well, what happened is I went down south for winter last year, and my neighbors told me that there was a sheriff up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, and I found out that he was trying to serve me.
Sure.
To go to court for this.
Yeah, they want to get a judgment and then start probably putting a lien on your house or taking bank accounts or something.
Yeah. So anyway, they went to my son. So they served him.
Yeah.
And he missed his first court date, and then they had a warrant out for his arrest because he didn't show up.
Yeah, that's all normal stuff. So where are we going with it?
Okay, then he just recently got divorced, and they sold the house, and he got some money out of the house.
He should have paid for it. He should have paid for it at that time.
Well, what happened is he went to court, and I said, well, what happened in court again? Because he went twice. They told me that I said, did you tell them that you would like to make payments to them? You know?
Yeah. And what happened?
For it every month, and that's all that went there. And
but what exactly does this? What does this have? What does this have to do with anything, Guy? I don't know what the problem is. You're telling me a story. What's the problem? Yeah. Okay, by the way, they don't have to do monthly payments for what he can afford. Just so you know that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, they ended up. He had some money in his bank account, and he said that he never gave him any information about his bank.
No, they do an investigation. They seized his account, right?
They took $10,000 out of his account.
Good. That's what they should do. Good. They did the right thing. They seized the account. It's called a garnishment. So what were you calling about? Were you thinking that's wrong for them to do it? And I don't mean good for your son. I mean, I'm not wishing ill on anyone. I'm just saying legally I'd have to, like I said, have somebody look at the paperwork. But as far as procedurally, it sounds exactly normal. Were you questioning their authority to do it?
Yeah, I didn't know they can go into somebody's bank account and just take up all that money out at one time.
Absolutely they can. Now, technically, I'm going to give you a technicality here. Let's say he had 10 grand in there and they took every penny. Technically, this is really a technicality. If your son can prove that every penny in there went to wages and it was a wages holding account, they can only take a certain percentage, 25%. Now, this is important to know, and I'll tell you why. Many people will make an account, and they will call it wages account, and they will only deposit wages. If you deposit any other money and it's cold mingled, you lose the nature of the money. So, if the nature of the money is payroll, it will always be payroll if it sits there. You must be very clear. Now, do you think What were the? I'm not going to get into this and try to prove it for you. I just want you to know that. Was this your son's wages account?
Probably not all of it.
Okay,
no.
All right, good. Then we're barking up the wrong tree. So anyway, Guy, it's a terrible thing, but you know what? It's better they took it from him than from you.
Yeah, well.
You better watch yours, bud.
Oh, well, no, they already got paid.
Oh, it's 100%?
Yeah.
No, they, see, I had talked to my attorney before. And
yes.
They were going to come after me.
And what did he say?
And I just retired. And they said, well, one thing is that they can't take your
Social Security.
Your main house, and they can't take your Social
Well,
Security.
hold on. Guy, I don't want to call your attorney a moron, but if he told you they can't take your house or lien your house, he's a moron.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm.
Your main house?
Yes,
said if you had
your main house with your old grandmother in it. That's right. Blind, in a wheelchair. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
And what he said about Social Security, I don't believe they can garnish your government stuff, right? That's why some people have an account, they call it their Social Security account, and they don't commingle it. So everyone listening, if you have problems here and there, get a wages account, don't ever commingle, and get money wired in that you can prove electronically. Also, the same with Social Security. Get an account just for Social Security. Don't commingle. Now listen, it's really important you know that. The other thing I want you to know
Unless
is that
there is someone that can grab your Social Security.
The IRS.
IRS.
Now, government can take from government. Guy, your attorney really told you that they could not lien your primary residence.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
Well, that's called a moron. Now, here's the other thing. There is a homestead exemption. What does that mean? What is a homestead exemption? Can anyone define that? Who wants to take a shot at it? It's an amount of equity protected for an individual, or it's more if it's a couple. So, Guy, how much equity in your home?
Well, probably about 180.
Okay, so about, I'm taking a stab at this because the limits escape me, around 60 grand. Are you married?
No.
Okay, well, it could be less. I think, for some reason, I'm thinking 60. Don't, it's not gospel, but about 60 would be protected. But they can take the rest. I think he was referring to a homestead exemption. Now, in Texas, they can't take a dime of equity. Do you know some of those Enron guys?
Primary.
Purposely paid off their residences and had millions of dollars that they could not touch. We have more coming up. I'm Tom Martino. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair are, as this guy Crazy Eddie in New York used to say, crazy deals. This is something. Budget A1, Mark Machowski went nuts. I love it. Call it a midlife crisis, except he's a little older than mid-age. He is tearing apart transmissions and giving full, complete, detailed estimates free of charge. Yep. It really, you can call for details, but here's the deal. You're not even obligated to get it fixed. Now, of course, don't bring a junker in and say, hey, I'm wondering what this is going to cost. It's a car you might get fixed. You're inclined to get fixed. He'll even tell you what the best and worst case scenario is to get it fixed. If you decide to get it torn down and then you decide not to get it fixed, you're not charged. You're not charged if you take it somewhere else. You're not charged if you dump and just wreck the car, you know, just junk the car. Mark Machowski is bold, and he's doing this at Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair. By the way, they do all of their rebuilding in-house. They are the source for many shops that contract to them. So go directly to the source, get a free estimate, and tear down. 303-781-9858. Budget A1 on South Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth.
I love Budget A1. It's like
If you want granite or solid surface or any kind of countertops, Mitch Lurie is a direct importer. He can save you money, that's for sure. He can get you great prices, and you know how confident he is that you take some photos and give him some measurements. He can give you prices over the phone. The only thing that'll change is whatever material you use, you know, custom edges, sinks, cabinets. Give him a call sometime. Just do it from home. You don't even have to go there. Eventually, you will go to the Golden Showroom where you can pick out specific. We'll either granite wholesale. He never marks up the granite. He only charges for the fabrication fabrication and installation, and then you buy the cabinets.
No, because they quit that. I was one of the last ones
this whole
that had
thing
to
done
do
in 1
that.
to 4 weeks, depending on how complex. And he will give you 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Because I don't think that, did your son have to do register for the draft?
People I've ever met, and one of the quickest companies.
I don't know what they do in high school. I mean, if they did.
Do they
For what?
They still do that thing when you turn 18, you gotta go to the post office and fill out the selective service.
I don't
know if that's still.
I was one of the last ones to do that. When did they stop?
Yeah, selective service card.
Prone to natural disasters, you could be liable for.
They might have started up again, but then
this is
it's like a service registration.
Shares are a horrible idea. If you're
It was
tired of
passed
these,
1940.
Exit, the only company I trust. They'll get you out or give you a full refund. Call 844-999-EXIT.
969. See, it's 75. That's what I did.
Home loan, they have the rate guarantee. If rates go down, they will refinance you free.
It might have been
303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already
So 80 to
approved.
present
Not
doesn't
pre-qualified,
exist,
approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000.
You know, this letter from my brother.
You know,
I got a letter from my
Born in 1960.
Let me see it.
So when was he born? He was born after 1960. So he,
At least you quit the audio stuff.
You should have
It's been the last year.
You should have registered for that. What do you mean?
I mean, if it's something automatically in high school or something.
It's not automatic.
You have to go to the post office and fill out that card when you're 18.
Who says?
It still says on here that, well, what was the last year?
It's Jimmy Carter signed Proclamation 4771.
Well, there must be no teeth or penalty.
I don't know.
Did you know if you put a cell phone in a toaster oven and let it ring for a while, it'll be the same temperature
After 1 hour. Yeah.
No, what he said is exactly right. It just takes a while for it to do it.
Here was the thing yesterday.
If you
Did you know?
And you put it in a confined space.
Did you know that
this
if
guy was working
you shove your cell phone up your ass, it'll be the same body temperature as your ass?
Open the door and put it over to make
after
more
full
heat.
on,
And he said after 1 hour, it was the same temperature in there.
and
The door
if you
was
can
open
get
and
your
shut.
cell phone on.
But he's wrong because the toaster oven will automatically kick off once it hits 400. It'll let it
No,
go
no,
back
no.
down.
What he was meant is say you did
That's-
that.
I don't
and
care
then
what
pull-
he meant,
and then
it's what he
pull,
said.
and pull the cord right there, so all electricity stops.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yes.
It's going to, everything, the temperature's going to go to end up saying that it's perfectly insulated.
Really?
Yes.
So, I mean,
Sure.
if I send a cooked steak into space,
Okay.
and then
Space.
do not reheat it in the microwave,
Okay.
and put my cell phone next to it,
Okay.
and call my cell phone,
Okay.
will the steak start vibrating as well?
No, because your cell phone will never reach to space.
Yeah.
The microwave only vibrates water, fat, sugar molecules.
I think hydrogen.
All the hydrogen in the water.
I believe it's the hydrogen.
I
That's
just
why
bought
he
a
said
Komodo
oil.
Joe.
That's why he said oil.
I've got the
Big green egg.
I've got the
Not
big green egg.
I just bought that, sir.
It's a fake.
No, it's a grill.
I hate the egg.
big green
I hate the egg.
It's a grill.
It's a smoker and a grill.
It's all
They're
ceramic.
literally the big egg.
I've seen it. Yeah. I just bought a Komodo Joe.
Did you get it at Costco?
Yeah, $1,500.
Are they aluminum or ceramic?
You got the giant.
I got the giant. Yeah. Well, I have a big family, so I got the
Cook
big
a
one.
lot of food.
They look cool.
Oh no, they.
Is it because
I'll tell you what I got.
the ceramic
Well,
so well?
it insulates it so well. You can put charcoal in there.
You
start
could, my green egg, I got a medium. It's the only grill I've ever owned I can get to over 1,000 degrees. 1,000. You can sear a steak, a minute and a half size. But it takes so long to get to 1,000.
You can also start a small.
When you
Yes.
when you want it rare, like you cook them,
Yes.
how many minutes on each side?
What's how you're cooking them. If you're cooking them the Ramsey method, minute and 45 each side for some about that thick.
Have you ever seen a Solo V or whatever they call those?
Solo V.
Well, just like his Social Security.
Ziploc bag steak.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. BuyandBuild.net will get you. By the way, have you ever gone there, buddy? They have floor coverings up there. Of course, they don't do floor coverings, but a lot of do-it-yourselfers go up there. People, they have, they have LVT, they have hardwoods of all kinds, but their big thing is plumbing and fixtures and lighting
Cabinets.
fixtures. Oh my God, the cabinets! I put shaker line cabinets in my garage. People said, "Oh, you're so extravagant." No, they're cheaper than those metal cabinets from Home Depot. It's just amazing. Plus, they have all kinds of granite, and it's great to browse. Have you ever gone there?
Yeah, we put a sink in our showroom. We just moved our showroom.
Yeah.
And we went there and bought the vanity top with the sink involved, the whole 9 yards from them.
It's amazing what you can get. Mark looked at some pedestal sinks that were normally he was looking at any prices from $800 to $1,200. What were they selling for those pedestal sinks?
Well,
Mark?
during the auction, they were nothing. They were like $10, man.
Yeah. Oh my God! But what you saw them regularly at $100. So anyway, Buy and Build is at 4800 Washington Street. Buyandbuild.net. What's going on in your life? Give us a call. We have a couple lines open. 303-713-TALK. And Jeff, what's going on with you, Jeff? What's happening?
1031 exchange question.
Yes, what about it, sir? I've done them before.
If I sell a property here in Denver, it's got a big gain in it, can I make use of the 1031 exchange rules if I buy property in a foreign country?
Jeez, you know what? I don't know that. I actually don't know that. Let's find out, because it has to be like property, but as far as where, I don't know.
Total guess, I would guess no, but
yeah,
I have no clue.
You know what? Can we get Eric on? Eric Reinemer from Atlas Financial Advisor.
Yes, I didn't hear the question, Tom.
You better
I'm
ask
sorry.
him.
It's about a 1031 exchange. Can you do an exchange, like versus like? Of course you can, but the property you're acquiring is out of the country. That's a very simple question. If anyone knows, give us a call. And you guys can always get through to us, always. Well, almost always, at 303-MARTINO, and we monitor that 24/7, 303-627-8466. Hold on, and we'll find out, all right? Jared, what's going on?
How you doing?
What's going on with you?
Call.
What's happening?
Well, somebody got a hold of my wife's PayPal account, and they're buying these things for the Fortnite game.
Yeah, they're buying V-Bucks.
Well, I don't know exactly what it is, but they've spent over $500, and I've been trying to get my wife to cancel it. She's not doing it.
Now wait a minute.
So I want.
Do you have a kid?
I do have a son, yes, and he does play that game, but
Bingo.
he's in school today, and I just got a $25 charge.
But those charges
online.
they come through a few days later sometimes.
Plus you can play on the phone, right?
Listen, my son, I shouldn't say this, but I think he's got some gene for a scammer in there, because he will get V-Bucks any way he can. Now, I'm not going to say he would steal from somebody else's credit card, but man, does he do some fancy footwork when it comes to tricking me or his mom or his nanny into like using their credit card, and then he keeps the number. And what I'm saying, long story short, is this, is that you better really be sure it's not your son. Now, what they buy, the only thing they can buy are V-Bucks, okay? And because the V-Bucks translate to money at the game, and that's what they buy. And they buy them in packages. I have to say that 25 sounds weird to me, because they come in $9 packages. The other thing he could have purchased was a subscription to something.
Well, it's $24.99.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
in the last few months, I've been getting these Microsoft account receipts on my email.
Yep.
And it's added up over $500. And my wife, I'm at it.
I'll trade you.
Can I go to the bank?
I'll trade you, sons.
Listen,
Yeah.
Can I go to the bank and cancel her card? What can I do?
Okay, here's what you do. I had this problem. My son, I'm serious. And then after a while, I'll just be straight, man. Even though they say they're not going to do it, they get in the heat of something. They need a skin. They want something. I would say, here's what you do. Are you married or are you divorced?
No, sir, I'm married.
Okay. And your wife, whose account is it?
Mine.
Okay.
It's her PayPal account, but the debit card, the bank account is under my name.
On the PayPal or on Fortnite?
The PayPal and Fortnite is on her debit card.
Here's what I'm asking. Listen, the account where he plays Fortnite, does he log into his own Microsoft account?
No, he's got to go through my wife.
Okay. you need to kick him out of your account. As long as he can log in, he can keep doing it. You must, or...
But I've been trying to get my wife to do that for months, and it's obviously that she hasn't done that. So
well, you change the password, and you tell him for him to play, he has to get his own account. Now, that's step one. Now you still have a problem with the PayPal. How does he have access to her PayPal?
That's a good question.
Okay,
I have no
well,
idea.
You have to change the password for that. Unfortunately, you have to do it. And if you don't do it, it's going to keep happening. And you can't really ask for your money back if your son used it without authorization because you gave him access, unless you want to press a fraud charge against your son.
Yeah, but if he's under 18, he's responsible for his son. That's not going to matter.
How do we know it's not his wife?
I just need to learn how to snip
His old lady playing Fortnite.
Now.
Well, that's what you do. You change the PayPal account. And
But it's in her name. She won't do it.
Okay, then here's what.
How about military school?
Just wait a second. Then remove your debit card.
Then you mean marriage counseling.
Remove your debit card.
Well, we're going to marriage counseling.
Jared,
we're doing that too, Mark.
Jared, remove your debit. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you remove your debit card?
Oh, I'm going to go remove that whole game here as soon as I get home.
It's not going to matter. You don't remove the game. The game can't be removed. It's a subscription game.
Okay.
Jared,
I got to get my wife to do this.
Jared, you're not listening.
He's got to get her on board, man.
Just wait, guys, please. Jared, seriously, you're not listening, okay? You're just not listening, because I can tell by what you just said. All you have to do, if it's whose Microsoft account is it, you change the password. Okay?
Okay.
The second thing you do is remove your debit card as a form of payment, or cancel the debit card completely. Charles, what do you have to say?
Real quick, yeah, you hit it right on the money. You don't have to cancel the credit card. My son was doing that too, and I was like, what the heck? And all you gotta do is go in the game and just delete the card off that machine as a payment, and you ain't gotta delete the credit card.
You know, Charles, your son was doing it, right?
Yeah, my son was doing it, our nephew was doing it, and my nephew rang up like 500, he got on punishment.
I swear to God, these guys, I am starting a group, Fortnite Anonymous, FA, I'm serious, for parents, for parents and friends of...
You're too lenient, man. You're a lenient guy.
What do you mean by lenient?
You're lenient. You kind of let him get away with it for a while, $9.95
No, I did not know what he was doing.
He was here one day, you guys. He was trying to talk you into buying like a package of skins for $100 or something.
I know. 303-713-TALK. Fortnite, by the way, is a scourge on humanity. We'll talk about that coming up.
Oh, did you hear it? His wife wouldn't change it. She's like, that's okay.
Yeah. $500.
Usually it is.
And I'm just going to say this. What's the most? Come on to say he doesn't know. What's the most Bonnie's done? Has it been 500? Oh, added up? That he wasn't supposed to do. I know you've allowed some.
Added up together that he wasn't supposed to do about 200.
Okay.
And that's just some skins to make it look better?
No, guns. It's V-Bucks, so you buy whatever. You can't buy guns because you acquire guns on the ground. You buy skins or gliders.
So you just look different.
Gliders, the different gliders.
But there's no functional difference, right?
None.
So you can't get an advantage in the game because of money.
Never.
You can just look cooler. It's basically buying Gucci.
No, wait a minute. No, they buy ranking too. Listen to this.
Digital Gucci.
They can buy ranking. Guys, listen to this.
But you're buying someone else's ranking.
You're buying someone else's account, their login.
Got it.
Okay. And their username and password. You literally...
Yeah, but what's the fun of that?
Because I've never seen you have the reason I said, Bonnie, they don't even know who you are. They think it's the other guy. I mean, it's so freaking weird.
So buy someone else's login.
Their ranking, because you're
getting
their
their
skins.
V-Bucks?
You're getting the well, no, that's outside. That's totally outside. Like you go to a community and they say, look, if you want my account, so they give you a username.
So there's probably kids that just rank up there, then sell that account and start over.
Let me just tell you something, okay?
In a military family, and that's why it's important to me to remind veterans that it's time to take advantage of the VA benefits that you deserve. This is Ross Kaminsky, and I thank you, and American Financing thanks you for your service and want to see that you receive the greatest savings when it comes to owning a home on the land you want. The existing mortgage into a VA loan while receiving access to 100% of your home's value. That's greater than any other loan program can offer, and even though it's called a VA loan, it's available to active duty military and spouses as well, so you don't have to wait to take advantage of such incredible savings. A salary-based mortgage consultant will listen to your financial goals and customize a loan program to fit your needs. Just call 303-695-7000, 303-695-7000, or American Financing.
It's an online game that's a battle royale. You parachute onto an island, and you fight 100 people. You're one of them. And you have to eliminate everyone just shooting them. And there's hiding places, and you build forts. And also, there's a storm that keeps closing in to keep you from hiding somewhere. And then eventually people are in a very close area until one is standing, and then you get a win. But during the game, you have kills and you have building. So even if you don't win a lot, but if you have a lot of kills, that's a really prestigious thing because a lot of people hide. Now, one other thing, there are people that make $20 million a year doing this. I mean, they're famous because they play Fortnite. They make literally millions a year. And because people watch and stream to them, they have ads on their streams. Now, some people have been watching the champions, and they want to get in the same game. So what they do is they know the guy's screen name, and they go into the lobby and see, and they want to get in his game. And then, listen to this, while they're on the game, they go and watch the stream to find out where he is, to gang up on him. Because if you kill the main guy, you're banned. You're banned for, if you're found doing that, you're banned.
If you're found ganging up on someone, you're banned.
No, you can gang up. You can have alliances, but toward the end, you got to still. They do have team Fortnite, but I'm talking about a cutthroat. If you're found streaming at the same time you're playing, because when you stream, you're looking at the whole game.
Oh,
it's like watching a football game.
I understand.
And you're playing in it.
It's like watching a football game, knowing the plays that are going to come in.
Well, you know where the guy is.
Gotcha.
So they know where like Ninja, where he is on the island to begin with, because they want to kill him. So what are the chances of finding a guy on an island with 99 other people? Well, if you're watching his stream, you say, oh, he's over near the big tower.
And streams are real time.
Real time. So they watch the stream and go after it. And then they're banned for life for doing that.
The ability to do this and to learn it.
And by the way, that's the skills. They have leagues, okay? Yeah. $20 million a year. Some of them are making, they're drafted, they're giving drafted bonuses to be on their team of millions.
My son.
Wow. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, artofgranite.net. Kind of like how Buddy does business, Buddy with the floor coverings, near damn wholesale you're paying, but he makes profit. But Art of Granite makes profit. They don't make profit on the materials, by the way. With Art of Granite, it's a little different in that he just charges for fabrication and installation. So you pay wholesale for the granite or the stone. He's a direct stone importer, but you can buy anywhere on his wholesale account, and he'll designate that stuff for your job and then charge for the fabrication and installation. He'll do the bathroom free when you do the kitchen at the same time. Also, he'll give you a price on the phone, and that's something I think that's a big advantage. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to screw around. They want to shop. Now, it's not all price, of course. There is something called service and reliability and warranty, but he'll still give a price on the phone. And then you have to, he'll sell you on his quality. Artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919. Buddy, do you get prices on the phone?
Yeah, we do all the time.
Okay. In what regard do you do that? Because I give out your 52nd Ward Southwest corner. I also give out your website, of course, and I just say simplyfloorsinc.com. But what do they have a phone number on there? I don't give out your phone. Okay. So when they call, you will literally give them a price.
Yeah. It's easy to give a price. The problem is there's a lot of variables in like hardwood, but like most of our prices are carpet, pad, installation, tear out, haul away, furniture move. We try to lump it all into one price.
Yeah.
Versus like most of our competitors have just the price of the carpet, and then you got to add the pad, and then you got to add the labor, so people don't know what their price is.
You give it a lump sum price.
Yeah, lump sum.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I love that. Anyway,
we actually got a complaint about that one time. Lump sum. I want to see the breakdown. I never understood why anybody would want to see the breakdown.
You know what? I don't care about the breakdown if the price is good. I don't care what people make if the price is good. If I like the price, why would I care? Now, you don't have a right to see it, but you would if, for example, they say you're paying materials plus 10%. Now, obviously, you'd want to see how much of that was materials, what did it cost? You know, I mean, when a GC says, I'm going to build you a house, and it's going to be 15% on dead cost, I want to see the dead cost, right?
Right.
Yeah. But how do you price? Do you break it down, installation and material, or just one lump sum?
Lump sum on carpet and lump sum on hardwood or laminate. But then there's variables that we show, like most people, you know, if they have a set of steps or not, the labor on the steps is added on.
Okay.
Because if you don't have steps, we're not going to add it in, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's certain things.
I understand that. Now, is this Gwyn?
Yes.
Gwyn, what's going on?
I wanted to ask you about buying.
About refi, yeah.
Yeah, refi, and if you ask more than one company, do they all ding your credit because of that?
Well, they can do a soft pull or a hard pull. So listen to this. This is really important. Don't let them do a hard pull. If you want to find out, you can say, my FICO is this, and I understand that your pricing will vary if I'm not telling you the truth, or if you find it to be different. In other words, say, I'm not going to tie you to it, but give me an idea. Do you know how to evaluate the price of a refinance? Most people don't know how. So what do you look at? Do you look at interest?
Do I?
Yeah.
Well,
when you say you want to shop, hold on. When you say you want to shop, let me just ask, what are you shopping for?
What's your goal?
What are you shopping for first? What are you shopping for?
Oh, shopping for taking some equity out of the house.
But what are you shopping for as far as one lender over another? What would make you select one lender over another? And by the way, Mark, her goal is to take money out. What are you going to do with the money?
Credit cards and
okay,
and
all right.
bills.
I want to talk about that a little because I want you to do it wisely. But Gwen, tell me, are you looking for interest rate? Is that what you're mainly looking at? What your monthly payment will be?
That's a part of it, but I'm mostly interested in someone who's trustworthy, and that's why I called you, because I know you.
Okay. I'm going to tell you how to evaluate a lender, because believe it or not, a lender is not important, but everything else is. We'll talk about that. That may sound weird to you, but hang on. It is important, but it's not. We'll talk about that coming up. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. We're also looking for someone on that 1031 tax exchange as well.
I know what I did it already.
Oh,
you did?
Mark
Yeah,
and
but I'll
Tom,
still
I want you guys to know where that call stems from. She called for a couple of, she wanted to refi, wanted a couple referrals, asked who Mark and I used. I told her who we used. She says, well, what do they charge compared to this? How do you know who's cheapest? So that's how this whole thing got started. Okay?
Truth in lending, baby. Thank God for that.
Well, but there's some, but that doesn't really tell you what the whole story is.
You can use your 1031 for foreign investment.
No, you can't. Foreign to foreign, like to like. That's what I understand. Listen to what I'm saying. You're correct, you can. If I own foreign property.
When Mark gets louder, he thinks he gets righter.
If I own foreign property and want to exchange for like foreign property, I can. I can't exchange for domestic to foreign or foreign to domestic. It's not like property. Any other questions?
American financing is Mark right. Is that the one that advertises so much?
Yes.
If you embrace the popularity that is foreign.
What about
they spend $100,000 a month with.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
With
chump change.
No, with
baby.
one
total
budget.
Radio station. Their total budget's more than $1 million.
No, I'm just saying they're with one radio station.
No,
yeah.
chump change. Here it's almost $5
Really?
million.
For the cluster, not just for iHeart, not just for Chaos.
Well, he was saying, so I had Bill Weeks come in. He's doing my radio on Mix, and I'm about ready to pull it. But he was saying that they spend $100,000 a month on Mix. I'm just on Mix.
They're huge. Is Mix one of iHeart's?
No, I think I finished their basement 10 or 15 years ago.
Maybe.
Maldonado's.
Yeah. Gabby.
So now when I'm on the treadmill, I always go 1 hour in one minute. Okay. I go at 6.5 incline at between 3.2 and 3.8 miles per hour. So it's always a good walk. Up towards 3.8, I can either, it's almost a jog, but I can attempt to walk it.
Okay. The largest floor.
Now what I do, ready for this? Okay. Every 5 minutes on the 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20.
What skin do you wear on that?
I put these hand weights, I weigh the whole time.
And that's what happens.
I do 50 of these every 5 minutes.
Jake jabs.
Then after 50 of these, I do 50 of these.
Between Jake and Jake.
You're making me dizzy right there.
When I get my heart rate now, I'm averaging the last half hour,
marketing
106.
Buy market. You literally
Which
buy
is
market
great
share.
for you.
Then you have to handle it though. If you don't, it'll.
I'm shocked how much the muscle part will jack the heart rate.
So I'm going to get a weighted vest because the only
how much
I do is
I want to go to about
I put a
400, 500,000,
and then I just bought these, man.
And we're at
you got to grip them the whole time. I'm starting to wonder, gripping those for an hour, I wonder if that's bad for you.
I'm trying to figure out what to advertise.
But I've heard that too. Just you do walking, just by using walking sticks. That's better for you and stuff.
For example,
you're moving your arms.
It's crazy difference, man. And even though they're light, they're like maybe 5 pounds a piece.
That's pretty heavy. 5 pounds? That's 5 pounds.
How many reps is that? 5 going to 60.
Will charge you less. Because
30 reps.
What are you doing? You do how many a minute?
This little map maker.
Every 5 minutes,
selling your map
I do this 50 times and this 50 times.
And she can spend her
both of them back to back take me exactly 58 seconds.
And
that's actually a block is where I got that.
Sends this much to him, and he sends her
That's
it, right?
Yeah.
That's
the back office.
I was in Tensudo. I was in Korean.
Man, my son loves that.
Like some people, when they start something, just close up. They don't need any
jiu-jitsu.
But his genius was getting.
Where was jiu-jitsu
Korea.
Can you? Jiu-jitsu taught me this.
Of dollars for 20 years. Interest free.
Kick your own
boots. I think you taught
I do a jump kick.
You used to be able to kick
How do you get people
over your neck, right?
to believe in you?
Can you just standing up? Let's see it.
Standing up, it would take me a little bit. It would. It would take me. It would take me probably.
If somebody gave you that, if somebody gave you that much money, you got 20 years.
Sitting down, it would take me probably.
Because I think even
5 minutes I could have it behind.
Wow.
Standing up, I got to get so limber. The whole trick on doing it standing up is you literally got to throw it
ability
over.
to sell yourself to someone with that much.
Balance is a big deal.
To sell yourself.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. But the genius is about content, and you get people.
You're going to be like old and dumb like that. I don't want to hear about your back,
Go away.
how your neck hurts,
Go
your
away.
shoulder hurts.
Go away.
because you did-
He needs BioT.
You're not wrong.
Well, who gives a shit about it? I mean, it's him. He lives with the consequence. I mean, I always say that to people. If you want to eat sugar, eat sugar. If you want to do it, I'm not going to, like, lose sleep over it. But
Low Carb Denver, they've got like 500 people coming to it. It's at the Gaylord.
Low Carb Denver.
Are you still getting in the cold water?
No, I need to. I want to buy a tub, a real one. I want to buy an ice tub. You realize how many people every morning get into an ice tub that are like highly successful?
Just get an old
What's an ice
or
tub?
hot tub.
Watch Tony Robbins every morning.
What's a nice tub look like?
It's like a hot tub. But it's
I bet it wakes your ass up, though.
Why not just get an old hot tub?
It releases so many hormones and things for you that help you.
By the way, there's debate on that, on the limited effects it has compared to what people say it has. But again, this is one of these things.
I think the Norwegians
Read that. Read that email that just came in.
If you feel great,
Read the email that just came in.
you feel great, and
from what? Help? Would it come in? Help?
You've saved a lot for
I don't even. Do you see it? It went to you and me.
the fuck's that mean?
Oh, my new, I love it, my new commercial. I love it. You ought to hear it. You want to hear it? I'm going to play it for you. He's talking about this commercial. But why? I'm just going to show it to you. I'm going to let you hear it. And you'll hear the commercial. All right. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Always keeping an eye on taxes when we put together your
But buddy, why don't you just get an old hot tub and you got
Here's one.
Okay.
Anybody can hold on. Let's just listen to this one.
An excerpt from the Tom Martino Show. Insurance companies never, ever, ever offer fair settlements, and I challenge anyone to tell me differently. They will never come out of the gate and offer you a fair settlement. I don't think an individual will get as much as an attorney can get, even after taking their share.
This is all that I do. Every single day, I fight for people like you.
That's personal injury attorney John Fuller, 303-597-4500.
Why did that guy write that then?
Co.com.
I like it too.
I love it. I have a couple of those.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the only show of its kind. We are here helping you, the longest running show on radio, with the same host currently on the air. I'm going to say the name Joe Lazzara. Write it down, keep it in your wallet, and if you're a moron, you're going to need it. If you drink and drive, you're going to need it. Yep. If you don't use a designated driver, you're going to need it. If you don't use Uber or Lyft, you're going to need it. If you don't use a taxi, you're going to need it. You know, Joe has so much business, I can tell people, don't do it, and they're still going to do it. Joseph A. Lazzara defends people. Now, you might think, well, why if they're drinking? Because even those who drink have to get through the system, and that's it. And he'll get you through the system because you could be willing to plead guilty and learn your lesson, and I hope you do. But you still need to get through the system with minimal impact on your life. 303-429-6200. Now, there are cases when you're falsely accused, okay? There are cases when your rights are violated. Joseph A. Lazzara, DUIs and other offenses, 303-429-6200. LazzaraLegal.com. On my referral list, referrallist.com. Suzanne, how are we coming on finding an accountant for that 1031? If anyone listening knows about 1031s, please give us a call.
I think
I'm
I
working
got
on
it.
it, Tom.
I think I got it figured out.
Okay, we'll talk about it. You looked it up online, right, Mark?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so let's figure that out now. Gwen wants to refinance her house, and she said, I'm trying to compare lenders. What do you look for? How do I find it? What do I do? We'll talk about that because that really is important. How do you evaluate them? How do you do it? What would you do? Well, first of all, everyone looks at interest rate. They do. They look at money out of pocket at closing, and they look at similar things. They don't want to bring money to closing, of course. So they want to build in costs. They don't want to pay excessively high interest, but seldom do people look at origination fees if they're built into the loan or other fees. There are all kinds of fees. There can be fees for doc fees and application fees and appraisal fees and credit checks. A credit check that costs somebody $50, they could charge you $250. So here's what I do, Gwen, and this is so simple. You want to hear? This is what I do. What balance is on your house right now? What's the payoff balance?
There's a first and a second, and the second's coming up with a balloon. That's one of the reasons, too.
But you want to refinance both into one. What is the payoff?
I don't know if I want a jumbo. Jumbos kind of scare me.
Well, tell me what loan, what's the balance on one and what's the balance on two?
The first one is about $330, and the second one's about $100.
Okay, and what is your house? So you got $430. What's your house worth?
I don't know if you trust Zillow or any of those things.
Well, I do kind of. What do they say?
About $850.
Okay, now, if I were you, do you have good credit? Nope. You would have said yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry.
It used to be, but it's gone down because of credit cards. And now, when you get a new loan, don't they make you pay off your credit card so then your credit rating goes up?
No, they don't make you unless you need to. If your ratios are off, they make you build it into the loan. But all of that are for our experts. Now, do you have any accumulated cash during the month? Do you have savings? Do you have any kind of savings?
No.
What is your income?
It varies because we're, in business for ourselves, so it can be $200 or.
What is it normally?
About 200.
Can you prove that with a tax
Yes.
return?
Oh, absolutely. All taxes are done, yes.
Okay, so 200. How many in the household?
2.
2. All right. Listen, if I were you, I would do my loan, my bank, my way. That's what I would do. Now, what that is I would take both of those loans and roll them into one. And I would that would be, what is your interest rate on the 330?
The first one is 5.9, and
Yeah.
the other one's just under 8.
Yeah, that's weird.
Second is under 8.
Yeah, this is bad. I would take both of those. I would get a loan for 430 plus the cash I need, and I would get my bank, my loan, my way. What that is it's a loan. It's if you want it to be a loan, it's a loan. It's a normal loan. And however, it's simple interest, not amortized interest. Okay, now listen to what that means. That means you pay interest on the outstanding balance for however many years, days, months you have it. So, let's say when you do this, now you have a loan, and your new loan is $500. Okay? Now, let's say during the month, what is the maximum you have in your checking account when you put your paychecks in?
We don't get paid monthly. That's one of the problems.
How often do you get paid?
Maybe 2-3 times a year. Commission.
Okay, so but you have a lump sum in your bank. You must to live on, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how much sits in your bank on an average day throughout the year? Just give me a number.
Golly, that's really hard.
100,000?
Oh, sits in the bank? No. No, because it goes out as fast.
But okay, all right, so you're telling me if you get paid, let's say 3 times a year, when you get paid your first check, every penny goes out and you have 0 in your bank?
No, okay. Let's just say 8,000.
Okay. So if you have an average of $8,000, does it ever go up to 15 and then go down to 2? Yeah, probably, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, for however many days you have $8,000 in your bank account, you would pay interest on not $500,000 but $492,000 you pay interest on for that amount of time. Now, if you have $10,000, you would pay interest on $490,000. If you had $30,000, whatever dollar you have in your account with this lender, whatever dollars you have in it, because banks don't pay anything anyway, but it's offsetting 4 or 5%. So instead of earning 0 on your savings and checking, you are offsetting 4 and 5%. So in effect, that money is earning you that. So even if and the money's never tied up. Even if the money sits there for 3 days, you get 3 days credit of that interest. So you have a giant line of credit on your home. And let's say you make interest payments every month, and it's calculated based on how much money you have in the bank for how long. If you have good credit and you have this loan for a couple years, let's say you get a lump sum somewhere of $100,000. Okay, you put $100,000 in the bank. That literally reduces the interest you're paying on $100,000. Now, let's say you want to take more money out because you decided you needed to do some maintenance. You can take $50,000 out. What I'm saying is it's a line of credit, it's simple interest, and you get credit for every dime in the bank. Why, you might ask, why doesn't everyone do this? Because
I was just going to ask you that.
Because it's not adequate for everyone. First of all, you have a lot of equity. A lot of people, a normal loan like Ideal Home Loans, you know, that you can call them, they're good people. And what you will find is a good loan. They're not going to overcharge you, and we'll talk about charges in a second. What you find is many people want a fixed rate 80% loan, and they do not want to touch their equity, and the cash that they have, they know how to make more money than letting it sit in a bank. So maybe this loan would not be for them. I'm just saying it's a great loan product, in my opinion. So it would be silly to say it's for everyone, because I'm sure it's not. But at the same time, I would look at it. I would look at it. I would also look at conventional loans, and of course, ideal home loans would be one of mine on the top of my list. There are other good lenders too. We have affordable interest mortgage. Kurt Rogers has been with me for years. We have good lenders on the referral list. But here's how you evaluate it. You take the balance. Let's say your balance, if you want to consolidate. Just let's say that for now. First of all, you take your balance, and if your balance is 430, now what you do is you take whatever the new balance will be. You say to the lender, I want to see exactly what the new balance will be, or at least I want to see an approximation within a few $1,000s. If a lender tells you they cannot do that, then you don't use them. So first of all, you eliminate them there, because any honest lender can give you an approximation. So with closing fees, with everything, and what you want to do is see what will the new balance be. So now you take the new balance. Let's say the new balance is 630, okay? Now, your old balance was 430.
Yep.
You took...
That's about where I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about what I wanted
and your
to
old balance is 430. So somewhere, then you do the math. That leaves $200,000. Out of that $200,000, how much cash did you get out? Let's say you got $175,000 in cash. That leaves $25,000. And all you look at is that $25,000. I don't care if they tell you you have to bring cash. I don't care if they tell you you're not paying for credit, you're not paying for an appraisal. I don't care if they tell you what they tell you. Now, forget escrows. Escrows are not part of this. You look at your new balance and you subtract your old balance, take the cash you took out, and whatever the difference is what that loan is costing you. Period.
Okay.
And if it's a difference of 25 grand, you don't let them start doing a tap dance. Well, ma'am, you see, you're not paying origination fee. Oh, I don't care what you say. I am paying $25,000. Where's that money going? And that's it. Now, of course, you look at interest, but interest is easy. If the interest rate is 5, it's 5. If it's 4, it's 4. If it's 3, it's 3. But when it comes to loan cost, this gets everyone off the BS table. When you take the cash you have out plus the old balance and you simply look at the raw cost of the new loan, they better justify that 25 grand or that 10 grand or that 8 grand. And many people, you'd be surprised, do not look at the new balance. They look at what they're borrowing, so you're only borrowing $100,000, or excuse me, you're only borrowing maybe $500,000, but you don't look at what the balance turns out to be after closing. You assume if I'm borrowing $600,000, it's going to be somewhere around $600,000, but really it could end up being $645,000, and you're wondering, wait a minute. Where did this money go? Now, even though it's on the closing statement, those closing statements are written to confuse people, in my opinion. And you can look at that closing statement and say, wait a minute, how did that happen? So you don't have to worry about that. Lenders hate when bad lenders hate when I tell people this. You take your new balance. What is it going to be? Your new balance is going to be X. Your old balance was this. Now, what's the difference, and where did that money go? Who cares if you have to bring money to the table or not? You know, stupid people say, well, it didn't cost me a dime, because they didn't have to write a check or take money to the closing table. But it could have been the most expensive loan they had. We have more coming up.
No, I just used. I mean, that sounds crazy.
I just used fictitious numbers. I didn't use any numbers. They're not accurate. I just took them out of my ass.
The average VA loan, okay, is about $275,000 in Colorado. The lender will pocket, we're talking gross profit, not paying his employees, about $16,000. So you can start doing math from there.
But listen, here's the deal. Truly.
So if I have my question is, I owe about $250 on my house. It's worth about $600, right? And so if I went in and refinanced,
80% of that if you want.
Right. Well, let's just say I refinanced.
Give me a price.
Let's say I refinanced it for $300, took $25,000. What do you think my loan would be?
Okay, so $300 from a good lender, you would pay maybe 2 points.
Okay.
So that's 2 points. So you'd pay $6,000.
$6,000. Okay.
And then there's some miscellaneous fees, but that's where the difference comes.
That's what I thought. When you said $25,000, I was like,
no.
Okay, that's great. I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot.
Don't you love the formula that I have? I'm simply seeing wait.
How much does it cost me?
You don't have to look at the closing. I'm saying, here's what I say to them. Okay, where's this $25,000? It's on the safe. Show me. Because you know what? Sometimes you see the broker taking a big fat lump sum for some reason, and it's called something else. And you know what? Underwriting or something. What you do is you make them account. Raw numbers are your best friend.
No, I totally get where you're
coming from. The same with trading in cars. Raw numbers are your best friend. You go to trade in a car, I don't care what you advertise. I don't fucking care. I don't care what you're charging me for the new car. How much money, what check do I have to write to take that car home, the new one? If he says you write a check for $15,000, it's a $15,000 deal. You go to another guy and he says, we're going to knock $20,000.
You only get one, right?
No.
We're going to give
you can only have one at a time.
An extra $5,000 on your
keep on as long as you pay.
We have someone who wants to buy it. But the difference you have to write is $18,000.
I'm wondering if that
they can't bullshit you. Right. They'll say, no, it's a better deal than this guy. Well, no.
So if you did
exactly,
if they wouldn't get as much.
Raw numbers. Right. People can never bullshit raw numbers, ever. And we always get caught up.
I think the VA rate right now is 5%. They're getting it.
And it is. You can sell it at a dealer, and you set up a dealer fee, and
I mean, it could be fees too.
I love payments. They don't. And I love that they don't pay the fees.
I just that's because it takes all the bullshit out. And people don't like it. They call me out on it.
Excuse me, I verified the loan 6 for you.
They have a better interest rate.
I think I had a better interest rate without doing the VA, and I didn't want to take off 100% equity.
Yeah, you had no benefit.
Right, and I wasn't going to do.
That's why they have an A+.
But you like the simple interest loan?
I'm here with Tony from American Finance.
It made a lot of sense to me. My wife
can't
was like,
think.
no way.
I can't think of why.
Well, it is higher interest rate though, right?
Generally, a little bit.
Oh, tiny bit, but you're offsetting it.
No, I see. If you have money there that's going to be,
it's not a big enough. Actually, it's not that much more expensive. I don't even know why.
Well, it depends. If you went to change now and you had rates from a year ago, it's going to be a lot higher. But if you were shopping for one now, you have to have it's very close.
Right. Yeah. In fact, Mark, I think it's at par. I think the interest is at par.
No, he said it's a little higher.
I thought the cost was higher to get it.
Well, it's the same thing. I'm saying APR is higher.
Yeah, but
well, it's got to be.
There's more bookkeeping involved. But, you know, it's automatically swept every night. So, you know, I keep a lot of money in the bank. So
no, I think that's good if you do it.
If I need a loan, do you imagine? Look at the money we have in Troubleshooter Network. I mean, I have 0% interest. Yeah, but I don't know why I don't do it. Because you know why? Because
there's no purpose.
There's no. I mean, what would I do with the money? You know, I mean, I don't even know. I would have the money, but I'd owe the money. So unless I have something to do with the money.
Right.
And I've learned you don't just assume you're going to make more money with it.
You know that song?
It's hard to make.
Maybe it's cold outside. You can't play anymore. It's Me Too.
Maybe it's cold outside.
Maybe it's cold outside. Yeah.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. DenverEgressWindow.com. It's singular on the website. DenverEgressWindow.com. They will rebuild your old window wells that builders put in with that old corrugated crap, or the small ones that they used to put in for light, but you can't escape if your life depended on it. You need an egress window to legally and safely use square footage in your basement. So why don't you let them tell you what you need? And they can even punch through where there is no egress at all. They can even do walkout basements from a flat lot terracing down to a beautiful patio. DenverEgressWindow.com. The Sennett family, they've owned it from the start. I've known them for as long as I've been in Denver. DenverEgressWindow.com. 720-626-4221. Let's talk to Eric Reinemer. He is with Atlas CPAs and Advisors, and Eric does all of our stuff at Troubleshooter Network. I'm not sure he's happy he signed on to that. But anyway, Eric, welcome and thank you. And
yes,
we have a question about the 1031 exchange from this gentleman, Jeff. And Jeff says he wants to trade for an out-of-country one. Jeff, where is your current property you need to get rid of that you have a big gain on?
It's commercial property in downtown Denver.
Okay, and by the way, I hate you for making a profit there because I lost my shirt during the recession. But anyway, God love you. How much of a gain are you going to have?
I'd say about $800,000.
I'm really disliking you.
Marijuana, baby.
Now, Jeff, you want to exchange. Have you identified another property?
Sort of. The property being sold, I think, would sell around April or May, and we're looking at property in the Bahamas.
Okay. Can he do that, Eric, or does it must it be in the States?
Yeah, here's the deal with like-kind exchanges is that if you've got a U.S. property, you can only like-kind exchange it for, in the IRS's view, a like-kinded property is going to be another U.S. property. And if you have a foreign property, you can like-kind exchange for another foreign property, but you cannot do a like-kind for a U.S. property to get into a Bahama property.
It has to stay in the country it's at.
Yeah, I would think that would be the rule.
So, and the only other way you would be able to do that is to do a triple exchange. I've seen them done, but God, is that difficult. You know what I'm saying? That's where...
Hey, Eric, how about if you own property in Mexico?
Oh, no. Even with a triple, you would still end up with one. Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
They only want to give the deferral if you're buying another U.S. property. So because that way you're deferring the gain within the same place you're paying taxes on. But
if he owned right now property in Mexico and was looking to do it, could he go from Mexico to Canada?
Yeah, I think it works between foreign. I think that works between different countries outside of the U.S. because it's it's called like kind because it's foreign property, in other words, non-U.S.
Right,
I think
non-U.S. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any other questions on that, Jeff?
No, that was bad news, though.
Now I want to bring up. Something. I do want to bring up something that's kind of weird that you might, Jeff, and that is and I'm not suggesting you do this now. But so many people assume that paying taxes are such a terrible thing and that they just go through conniptions trying to avoid it, okay, because they assume that in the future it might be cheaper. But I have to tell you, there are times when you may be better off literally paying your tax and reinvesting in another thing that can yield you more money in the long run or avoid tax in the future. So a lot of people assume, let's just avoid, and end up ultimately paying more tax than they would have had they sold, paid tax, and invested in something else. Do you ever see that, Eric, where people don't always have to defer?
Yeah, sometimes it can actually be beneficial. You almost just have to sort of cash flow it and see. I guess the key thing, Jeff, would be it'd be great if you could find some other losses somewhere else to harvest to help offset that gain if you can find any floating around or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the losses will offset that. Thank you very much, Eric Reinemer, Atlas. They're at 303-799-9111. Not 911, but 9111. 799-9111. Wes. Sounds like you got trouble. What's going on, Wes?
Oh, not real trouble. Just kind of need some clarification. My wife's uncle died. He's out in California. He has a trust. Everything is squared away with the trust. The person that's in charge of the trust, her father, is taking care of a lot of the legal aspects. We got a lawyer. They drafted a contract that said that they would help in the assistance of sale of the property.
Who would?
Now,
who would?
The attorneys that he contracted.
Okay.
So if it's to my understanding, estate attorneys, so to speak, are more or less just to verify that when the real estate broker does their deal, they look over the contract to make sure that everything is correct.
Well, estate attorneys do everything for the estate. They make sure transference of ownership is correct. That's their primary duty. Well, not necessarily, but making sure the will is interpreted properly, that the trusts are transferred properly, meaning the property out of trust, and that the ownership is done correctly. Yes, all of it.
Okay, so but their concern is that the lawyers would have some sort of power to sell the house if they wanted to.
Well, not unless you gave them that power.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You'd have to look at the agreement, the fee agreement is called, or the engagement letter, and very seldom do you give power of attorney to an attorney. I mean, what I mean is, you know, to transfer. You give power of attorney to represent you. Now, believe me, an unethical attorney could probably maneuver it, but is this a well-established firm?
Yes, they are. They're in Santa Monica. That's where all of this is taking place.
Now,
and,
what's the total value of the estate?
Just of the property?
Of everything in the estate, period.
About $4 million.
Okay, so how many heirs are there?
3.
And do they all get along?
Yes.
Good. Now, that's hurdle number 1. The other thing is this. So many people in the estate business overcharge their clients because no one's minding the store, or it's money, it's found money. So if you're going to get 3.3 million, why not, you know, what do you care if 100,000 of that goes out and now you only get 3.2 million? And if you get 3.2 or whatever, excuse me, 1.2 or whatever it turns out to be, you're thinking, you know, I'm still getting money, but you could be excessively charged. So you really need to mind the store when it comes to legal fees.
Okay.
It's common, it's more common with the state law to be overcharged. It's more common than regular. So in other words, it's not like once in a while you get overcharged. You mostly get overcharged, and you have to watch it. That's why we always recommend David Salisbury. In fact, you can call David Salisbury and ask questions free. I mean, he is amazing what he does for people. Now, obviously, he'd love to be somebody's attorney sometime when it comes to this stuff, but he knows if he answers questions, his name will be passed down with fondness, and people will say, you know what, call David Salisbury. He will answer your questions, and he'll always give a full consultation, complimentary as well. 720-493-3911, and that's David Salisbury. So, Buddy Mitchell, what is the most common floor covering right now? I'm just curious. What is it? Like, of all floor coverings, not just the most common carpet or the most common hard floor.
I would say the most common for us, and my company, is LVT.
Yeah,
we're selling more of that than anything. Laminate sales are down about 50 to 70%, and LVT took that market.
Because LVT, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. It's beautiful. What is the downside to LVT? Luxury vinyl tile. To call it tile is a misnomer. It's really like luxury vinyl hardwood. I mean, you know what I'm saying, even though it's not hardwood. It's like a luxury vinyl thick imitation wood.
Yeah,
or stone.
The downside is it's a little softer than laminate.
Okay, it is.
Yeah, it's not as hard.
But man, I've looked at it and it seems like it would be hard to damage, though. Yeah.
No, it's easier to damage than you think.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I tell people the most durable floor you can have is porcelain tile. Then after porcelain tile is the most durable floor. It will scratch the least.
What does it look like? I don't even know what
regular tile, just ceramic tile, ceramic and porcelain.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Right.
Then after porcelain goes to laminate. Then from laminate, LVT, wood, carpet, right, for durability.
All right. So if you have any floor covering questions, 303-713-TALK. Ann wants to talk about prison, and we'll talk about that. We have a lot more coming up on the Troubleshooter show. And remember this, solar systems will always pay off, always, but only if you have a big electric bill. If this guy called the other day, he only pays $100, $150 a month. It virtually is probably not worth getting solar at that point. Now, here's the deal. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Cam Solar, the website is gocamsolar.com, but /troubleshooter. The thing is about Cam Solar, it's run by engineers, and their whole thing is to do a feasibility study first to make sure it'll pay off. If you decide to go with it, and they say it's going to pay off, you'll save money from day one because you're paying off the system, not your electric bill. And that system payment never goes up. And when it ends, you never pay for electricity. Think about that one. Okay, so go to this website, fill out the form free of charge, get an analysis. GoCamSolar.com. GoCamSolar.com, then /troubleshooter.
Do a Excel services.
We have to add Excel services. They're learning, Tom, so he said it won't happen again, but it is what it is.
We weren't supposed, you weren't supposed to do an Excel.
For me, Jesse apologized.
It's happened every Thursday. We haven't done one commercial for this guy because it always comes out.
You know what, guys? Do we ever have Excel on the log?
That's
Excel roofing.
They do the
not this time of year.
Or hot pull. Or right. I'd rather do.
Hey, if we're going to do a free spot for anybody, why not, Jed?
No, that's.
But give him.
By the way, it's not. Oh yeah, they did say Excel roofing. I thought I did the mistake. You guys,
give him a real good one, though, man.
Me and my business partner Dave.
We've missed so many.
Well, you know what? I gotta tell you, I'll make it up.
I know you will.
I'll make it up. Finally, the last standard is that a fireman with let's dangerous.
Oh, they do a great job in our house. Great job.
Do you have them every week?
No, every 2 weeks.
That makes sense.
Who's that? Excel cleaning.
Yeah.
Maid service or cleaning service.
Yeah. They do originally just to get some.
Probably.
Yeah,
they're every
but now
they're unbelievable, man. And the prices. You can go once a month, once a week, once every
next Wednesday at the condo to go over what I want.
When he's talking about them, ask him for the numbers. Yes, you got to do that. He told me that you have not called him back. Balls in your court. Okay.
We're meeting.
Cool.
70s was actually clean.
I mean, I would love for that.
Busy
or cleaning.
Where?
In my own home.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you and your wife both work. It's.
I don't know how he does it. It's huge population. There's something.
It's got to be in the training.
There's something. And they're about.
Well, he leaves that nice little thing, everything that was done. They leave a check sheet and everything they did. No, you did. You had it.
No, I don't have it here, and I usually do. If I don't, I didn't put it in.
Man, you must have it under something else. You definitely had it. Let me look. Let me see what I got.
He said 500 pounders on rare.
Oh, Stone's eyes knew they were Marine Corps.
You know what I'm getting?
Did you find it?
No.
Samoan?
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a cow delivered on Monday to my house.
A cow?
Yeah.
Did you get a half or a quarter?
I have it, Mark.
I knew you did.
A buddy of mine is a rancher, and he.
Is it a full or what is it?
We decided to go to the full one.
How much?
We'll give a bunch of
this.
What?
And I put a hot tub in my basement.
Dollars?
Yeah.
Oh no. $4,000.
I bought
for a full.
For a whole cow.
Whole cow. Wow.
You know.
How many like?
He ages it for 2 weeks.
Outward bound.
So it's aged.
Is that butchered and ready?
Butchered, everything. That's all packaged, ground,
There's
everything.
What's that town?
Break the frickin' ice, jump in the water, and get back out over the
I want to say a little north of like Elizabeth. Little town.
I do that.
Kiowa?
Not Kiowa, even
further.
further.
North of Elizabeth or south. After a month of doing that up
Bennett?
there, I said, man,
No, not Bennett.
I
thought it started with a C. Callahan. They've got a place out there that's all they do, man. They butcher the cows. You can go right there and buy a quarter of full.
This guy owns Ralston Valley Beef, and he's president of the national or the Colorado Association of Beef Ranchers.
How big is the package?
We have a lot of people.
We're going to give about 500 pounds of
Jesus, 500 pounds.
Yeah, we give it away. We do steaks.
Not one offered bound.
500
Survival was like an intermediate.
Lord, that's a lot.
I know for sure they don't want to.
How much?
I remember looking.
How many like
nowadays?
Good
more like tennis camp.
Oh, we're going to get ribeyes, New York strip.
Like how many?
Question, you know,
do you have any idea?
I went through
40, 50.
Marine Corps.
I mean, it'll last us a year or two, but it's all shrunk wrap. We give it away to people in our business. We'll give them. We're going to get like 140 pounds of hamburger. Right. So but it works out to be about. It works out to be about $7 a pound.
No.
But the biggest thing, the best thing about it is it's aged. It's fantastic. Grass fed, except he grain finishes it to give it a little bit of fat at the end.
This was 1 week.
Fantastic.
He knows how to make a cow.
And he's off.
No
antibiotics.
Drop.
What dropped it on? That's a trip, man.
How far?
I might do a quarter cow one day.
Physical fitness.
We did a half.
That the hardest.
Because, you jump off that platform onto the sand's ball, and then you have that thing you jump.
A pig would be cool too, man.
From the platform, you jump to jerk.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I have
some important information. Open enrollment. We are about halfway through it, right? It's going to end January 15th. Isn't it the 15th of January, 16th? You got to choose your health insurance company. It's still mandatory, of course, no penalties, which means you can go off the exchange, and you need to use Integra insurance. It's important. Why do I say Integra? Because they don't charge you a dime. Integra. They don't charge you a dime. You simply go to them. They'll help you make the best choice. And the commission's built in, but you don't save going direct. So there's no reason not to take advantage of health insurance made simple and smart by IntegraInsurance.com, 303-466-5500. 303-466-5500. And then, based on this email, I want to tell you something. Somebody said, you said that the Raleigh House is the best, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I have never said that and will never say that about addiction treatment ever. There is no one best program. The Raleigh House is not the best. The Raleigh House is great, just like a bunch of them are. And there are some bad ones. There are some like scam magnesium infusion, niacin infusion places. I'm not going to get detailed, but I'm going to tell you that without counseling and without a full program, all of these intravenous things are not going to do anything for you. Okay? Tell them I said so. Here's the deal. The Raleigh House is the best place for information when you first find out about addiction and there's an addict in your family or circle of friends. I say call this number and ask any question you have, including about treatment, which might be somewhere else. So the Raleigh House is 720-893-5559. Trust me, they don't want you as a person, a client, if it's not a great fit. So they will tell you what's out there. 720-893-5559. And what do you have to say about prisons? What's going on?
Well, first I need to ask you a real question.
Yes.
Thank you for taking my call. What is Eric's phone number? That'll save me a call to you tomorrow.
Eric Reinemer, the accountant?
Yeah. What's his phone number? 799-9111?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's for another elderly person. I was going to have to call you tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
799-9111.
Right, and with a 303. So what's going on?
All right. I have elderly friends.
Okay.
And I don't know a whole lot about prisons, other than what I've heard from other people, okay? I've never been in one. Never even in jail overnight. Thank God. Praise the Lord. But anyway.
Yeah.
Her great-grandson is in prison on a dope charge, on a marijuana charge.
Oh, my God. Wait. It's important to know. I got to ask this.
All right.
Is it marijuana?
Yes, before it was made legal.
Well, a lot of authorities and a lot of jurisdictions are now going back and letting people go and excusing and pardoning them because they think it's wrong that people would be charged with something that is no longer a crime.
I agree.
And they are retroactively taking care of it.
Okay.
So what jurisdiction, what jurisdiction convicted him?
Adams County.
Okay, I'm not sure that's one of them, but you know what? I think it's going to be statewide eventually.
Okay.
But let's get to your point. What's going on?
This is what's been happening to him while he's been in prison. He's in the privately owned prison.
Oh, yeah.
Out by Pueblo. And I thought Trump was going to do away with prisons, privately owned prisons. But evidently
I don't think we are in a position to do that because there are there's so much need. That's why they want to do away with the marijuana prisoners. But go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, she is elderly like I am. I'm in my late 70s. She's in her late 70s.
Yeah.
She sends him $125 a month to put in his fund, whatever it's called. And then he can, when he gets so much money on there, then he can buy stuff.
Right.
Through the commissary. He orders it and he buys it.
Yeah.
Then they do a raid on his cell. Like the other day they did a raid again.
Yeah.
They said, you don't need 5 pairs of underwear, you only need 2.
How long? Wait a minute. Are they allowed to take stuff like that?
I don't know. That's why I want to know the name of who's in charge of the private
But
prisons.
Mark, hold on.
It's
what I mean. But what I mean is, do they say he can't have 5 and someone else can?
You can't have 5.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I think they can do for
Are
most
there
part,
rules?
whatever they want.
Listen, but
Yeah,
well,
they do whatever
Mark,
they want.
but they have to have consistent rules. In other words, they can't say you can have 3 pair, you can have 2, this guy can have
No.
1.
But if they thought he had an issue with having 5 pair because he tied them together and tried to lower himself out the window, maybe they can.
No.
Ann, I'm not saying he did lower himself out the window with underwear. My God.
They've done other things, like they took a brand new case of chicken noodle soup.
Okay, Ann.
Yeah.
The rules, whatever they are the rules. But I need to ask another question. How long is he in for?
I think he's got another 3 or 4 years to go. I'm not sure. I mean,
and what was the what? Do you know exactly what the charge
was? It was marijuana.
But do you know what it was like?
Probably moving like 40 pounds of it.
I mean, was it?
No. He had a couple joints on him.
There is no way he got 5 years in prison in Colorado for 2 joints. It was a $25 ticket before it became legal.
Do you know what I would like to do? If this kid is in prison for 3 or 4 more years due to a couple joints, I will personally, I'm serious, I'm not kidding, I will personally get together with some legal counsel and try to get him out of there.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
No, I'm serious.
But let me tell you a couple other things.
I want you, don't hang up after the call.
All right, now, listen to me.
Go ahead.
They get their money from wives, lovers.
I understand.
And it goes in this account.
Right.
And then they go to the commissary and they order their stuff. Then the raid, after their stuff comes, the raid always takes place within like 10 days. This last time they took his coffee cup. They took his Mr. Coffee. The time before they took his little TV. They always take from everybody these cards. They have...
No, this is wrong. If they are truly going in and stealing the stuff...
Yeah, they are. And I think it's wrong, and that's why I want to know the names.
Well, you know what? We'll look into it. What's prison is it?
The one by Pueblo. I don't know the name of it.
Okay, well, you're going to have to help us out and get this
I'll
stuff.
get the name of it and everything, and I'll call back tomorrow.
But really, let's just say the guards systematically raid after...
They do what's called a lockdown, from whatever that is.
But let's say they do it just for the purpose of taking stuff for themselves. That would be wrong.
Yes, I think
is that what she's alluding to?
Yes.
Like they want a can of chicken noodle soup?
And a TV.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of this.
Authority, they do it for power.
4 or 5 years for 2 joints. No way.
Listen, if they're doing it for power, Ann, I don't care if they're doing it for power, if they are truly enforcing rules that are in place.
Yeah, then
but even in prison, there have to be consistent rules.
2 joints while he was robbing a bank, maybe.
Oh, come on, Mark. You know that what I'm talking about is right.
I am not listening to any of that, okay? Don't worry about it. What were you going to say, Deputy Clint?
They're limited about what they're allowed to have in their cell because they end up using it for money.
Well, okay.
Like trading cigarettes for drugs.
Okay, so 5 underwear?
Well, whatever the rule is, but
how many underwear were you allowed?
But they couldn't have a case of soup in there, like she said. They just limit what they can have.
Deputy Daff, I want you to work on this one. Here's why. No, I do.
We want her to head down there.
Let me back up a minute.
I want her to work on it because she has a heart for it if it's truly happening.
Now, let me back
I'm
up
not
a minute.
saying it's happening. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me back up a minute. My granddaughter graduated from college 7 years ago, and her first job as a teacher, psychologist.
Just go ahead.
And
get right to the point.
Was on Quincy, which is a privately owned reformatory for boys. And she would come here, because I live outside of Byers, and she would tell me the horror stories. She was running the kids to the breakfast, and her supervisor called her over and said, I want you to give him 3 demerits. His one shoelace is untied. She said, 3 demerits? He leaves Monday. Today's Friday. He'll have to stay here till Wednesday. She didn't do it. She called into the supervisor's office.
And?
This is going on in all the private prisons, and people don't realize it because it's money. Ching-chang, ching-chang.
Okay, listen, I'm hearing you, Ann. If, look, people are in prison, right? It's not supposed to be a country club, but at the same time, it can't be cruel, let's face it, right, guys? I mean, Jesse has information. Go ahead, Jesse.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I did 10 years in Colorado prison system.
Holy crap. What was it for, Jesse?
I had some problems when I was a kid, and I like to get in fights.
Okay,
So-
can you tell me what it was for? I didn't catch it.
First-degree assault and a second-degree assault.
All right, hold on, because we have to take a break, and we'll come right back to you.
Talk. I don't mind you talking. Try to time it so I don't miss facts.
It was a $25 fine.
Every once in a while, like, if we have to take a break, just say break, or, yeah, stuff like that. Try to make it as short as possible, and like in between.
They aren't strict.
It was 2 joints and a bag of cocaine.
They are very strict because they get walked all over if they're
Not only that, go to boot camp.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you, boot camp's worse than that.
But listen, I don't care about that. That's true. Marijuana convictions right now, these people should not be in jail.
In Colorado, it was a $25 fine before even medical.
There are people right now doing 3- and 4-year sentences for an ounce. And it was on the news.
For an ounce, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a
It's
little,
over an ounce.
little baggie.
That's a big baggie, but yeah.
Well, you know, like a nickel bag, let's say, a quarter of an ounce. They were doing time. And this DA is going back and he's going to expunge them. And they should.
Yeah, as long as it's legal. Yeah, you can't have a pound of weed now. Oh, maybe you can actually. I don't know. That's funny.
I totally agree. They should open up the prison system. Dan Kaplan is railing against it.
Wait, he thinks they should stay in jail? Oh, God almighty. What good does that do to keep these kids in jail?
I would try it again, yeah.
And he really believes they should stay in jail.
Because Denver is one of the big...
Don't do all of it, just do it enough to save 10,000 does it again.
They want to wipe out 5,000.
I have a feeling that I may have
They're
got
looking
mine
at
down.
Kaplan is a fucking
When I
prick.
did say it,
Hey.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, with this prison thing, I want to be clear. We need to get the information from Ann. Did you get it? Okay. When you call her, I don't want to spend a lot of energy, but I want to get the name of the prison, and I want to get the name of the prisoner. And in general, her accusation is the guards are taking personal property from the guys after they go into the commissary.
And using it.
And you know, they're confiscating it for selfish reasons. She did say power, but she said like TVs and this and that. I just want to see what
They can take whatever the hell they want, man.
And look at, we don't know that. That's what I want to find out. I want to find out what the rules are.
The rules
Yeah.
are.
In other words,
They should be able to say what they can and cannot order. Can they have a TV?
That was your extra water.
No, but one guy can have a TV and another can't. If one misbehaves, they don't have a right to have a TV.
But they have to do it after, they should know that, can they order?
Stop and I go,
You know, is this something they can order?
We go to the commissary once a month, so there's always going to be a
finish it right away, so.
But I agree, there's no, it's 2 joints, because he stole 2 joints from
Two joints while he was robbing a bank.
Or he was robbing
Stole
a guy
2
with a
joints
knife.
with a gun, too.
Yeah, exactly.
That went off. And when braces are needed.
No, I agree with this marijuana.
Well, my question is, was it her friend's grandson or her friend's son? Because her friend's son is 50.
His friend's great-grandson.
Do we have any other cleaning services? Do we have any other cleaning services on the
I agree. We legalized marijuana.
We do,
because people that went into jail
Is the one you guys recommend so much is XL?
Yes.
Yeah. No, XL cleaning services.
I wouldn't recommend anybody else. Yeah, window clean. Eco clean. No, that's it. That's it, brother.
David Salisbury. Good God, thank God we got hold of him. My dad's trust was so screwed up.
I think, yeah, but your dad's from Arizona. He doesn't do over.
He votes here. His cars are registered here.
Okay.
His driver's license is here, and so and his property's here. He needed to have done a Colorado trust, and he did an Arizona trust. Okay. That was the first big problem.
No, I was going to have him do my dad and stuff, but he was in Minnesota, so he doesn't do out of state.
Well, anyway, that was the first thing that was wrong with it, and he keeps calling me, pointing out this problem. Things are missing, and he paid a fortune for that first time.
You think we paid a fortune for that?
Paid a fortune.
10 grand just for the account. For what? My dad died. It was a screwed up trust they had.
Oh, it cost you because the trust was screwed up.
I was going to say, I have a buddy that does trust and all that. Wasn't anywhere near 10.
Just for the accountant.
Well, that's if they're screwed up.
Because it was missed.
Yeah. Wow, that's why.
I'm Tom Martino. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And Who's the one sponsor I say every single person needs to use? Of course, Integra. And somebody said you didn't give out the number. I swear I did give out the number. Did I give out the number for Integra? I thought I did. But I did. Let me give it. Integra Insurance. I'm almost positive, but let me get it again because these emails mean something. It means somebody's actually listening. Oh, I didn't give out the number now that I look at it.
303.
No, I will. IntegraInsurance.com. Go ahead, Mark.
466-5500.
I didn't give out that number. And, buddy, I don't give out yours a lot. Do you mind if I do in the future? I mean, I don't know. Once in a while I'll get a call. Where does that number go to? Your showroom?
Goes right to the showroom.
So you don't mind giving out the number?
Oh, no, not at all.
Because you want people mainly to do that, their own appointment, right? At Simply Floors Inc. or what?
Well, it's just easier to remember when you're driving, and a lot of people drive.
Okay. You're right. See, I'm a believer, and I'd like feedback from people. I believe in the commercials. You should give out just the website. I really think you're right. It's easier to remember. Okay, let me keep going here. Dave, you have a comment and for the California estate call. The guy said, you know, it's a $4 million estate. The attorney is going to assist. What do I need to look out for? Go ahead.
So in California, the fees are charged not by how complicated the case is or how much time, but it's a flat rate based on the percentage of the estate.
Oh, that's good.
So if it's a fairly simple estate and he's not expecting any trouble, he may be better off to get a book on how to self-probate and might save himself a few $100,000.
Wow. What do you mean self-probate? You mean literally take care of the whole thing? That would be difficult, I think.
I've done it from Colorado, and it was kind of a step-by-step book. It told you what to do. It gave you sample letters of how you file. But the estate that I had, it was pretty simple. It was basically 2 accounts.
All right. Well, if it was a simple one,
yeah, it was going to be like a $15,000 fee.
Wow.
For 2 accounts. So
at least
a simple account.
Yeah.
If it's a simple,
I get the message. If it's a simple account, save money. Yeah. I don't think this one sounded simple, but again, you do what you do, right? Alan, go ahead, Alan. Alan?
Hi, hey, Tom, sorry.
Hey, man, what's happening with you?
Okay, so real quick, got a home in Wheat Ridge. Haven't made payments on it for several months because I've been out of work and I'm completely broke.
Do you have a lot of equity?
Quite a bit, I would say. Yeah, okay, so that's part of my question. Bought the house in '99. About $90,000 on it right now.
And how much is it worth?
On Zillow, it comes up in the $250 range.
Here's the bottom line: even if it's $200, you're going to net. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. And a quick question, if you're thinking about it, or a quick answer to a question you may be thinking about: don't ever let it go into foreclosure because you'll always get more money outside of foreclosure. But let me answer this: if by some chance the attorneys don't pillage and rape the estate, which they usually do, and anyone appointed to this, if it goes to foreclosure, the banks have a lot of fees and all of that. But if any money is left over, it goes to you. Yes, even in a foreclosure.
Don't let it go that way.
Don't let it happen because banks will have. Listen,
call Frank.
The guy walked past the water fountain, needed to take a drink after looking at your file. He's going to charge you for it. Don't do it. In a foreclosure, what you need is call Frank Duran right now. Have you gotten your first letter from the bank?
I haven't been living here. My wife and I separated. I actually just got access to the house again.
Alan, you got to take the bull by the horns right now. You got to call.
I've tried, but I've been.
Well, hold on. So are you saying your wife will not let you sell it?
No. My wife and I are separated, and I haven't been able to come to the house.
What I'm asking is, can you sell it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then do it, man.
Call Frank.
You call Frank and tell him you're facing foreclosure, and he will make work of this post-haste. 303-920-1622. He's a genius with this stuff. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. 303-920-1622. Please do it now. Injured in an auto accident? Call personal.
One shot. Sell it. Okay. One shot. Okay.
It doesn't
He
matter.
hit 3 in a row. This will be 3 in a row. I don't know.
If it misses, he'll say, "Oh, I meant to miss."
He's buying us lunch when he misses.
Woo! Bullshit, it was right in between the trash can and the
That's where
file cabinet. That's where I wanted it.
That's right. I told you.
You're good, Mark.
I told you. At Dell's, too.
Did you see me borrow? I blew it off the track.
So there's Carpet Exchange, Cortex Plus. I'm the only other dealer in Denver that can sell that.
Do you beat them?
Oh yeah.
So what?
Cortex
Here's what I have.
What
Cortex
is that?
Exchange. It's LVP.
Centeno,
The inventor of it.
Century RV, Excel, Revitalized Health, and Excel.
Thumbs up, baby. Money in the stock market. Thumbs up.
Look who canceled, by the way.
646-878. I don't know what you're trying to say. Thumbs up.
Look who canceled.
What?
Look at your text.
Oh, I know. What do you think? Here's what I feel. Bad luck. That's what I feel. I feel like this is doomed.
I do too. You know what? That's why you said that. I feel as if it's doomed too. That is.
It's almost like you did it
I'm still willing to.
I think you did it on purpose.
Let me show them, or let me show him.
Tuesday at 2.
We're sure of this guy.
Oh, those are yours.
Magnus.
Oh, cool. Look at that. Did you know George actually drove that train?
George.
He,
4141?
Yeah.
Locomotive?
Yeah.
George who? George Bush?
Bush.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you.
Before he
did
died, and
he last jumped out of a plane when he was 90 years old.
yeah, I know that was cool. Wow. That's really.
Did you see that shirt? Look at this.
Yeah, see, I got with
What?
magnets.
Is that really magnets? Oh my God, is that gay or what?
Hey, quit it!
Have you seen on your RV they make a screen door?
That is weird. Where'd you get that weird shirt?
Amazon?
How much was it?
No, not Amazon. Costco.
How much was it?
$13 or something.
Costco's got that right now.
They got it. I got it online.
I wonder if they have jackets like that. It's interesting.
Have you seen the screen door on the RV?
Look at his shirt.
What about it?
It's magnetic. Have you ever seen such a thing?
The only thing that would be weird is,
well, if you were fat.
No, putting it on crooked, though.
Oh, no, because the buttons are just right.
They
The
line
magnet is lined up right at the
They line
button.
up.
That's good for arthritis and shit,
Yeah.
man. That's really good stuff.
Have you seen the
Wow.
screen
Are they
doors?
expensive?
The RVs that do that?
$13.
13 or 15 bucks, something like that.
For what?
Costco online.
Mark, they make a screen door for your RV that does that.
Oh, I've seen
You
those.
push out and they just back.
Yeah, no, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Is Mike Rosen still around? Is he still on the radio?
He fills in, yeah.
Okay. How old is he now?
He's a little older. He may be 66, 68. I don't know.
Okay.
You know who got him? Madoff.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. And we're
Oh, really?
Like for reals.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think everything though.
You know, he tried to get me to invest in payphones.
Payphones?
When? Years ago.
Years ago. I was building decks back in the early 90s, and they were
Is
selling.
this before he was on radio?
No, he was on radio.
And how was he pitching you when he was on radio?
Okay, so a guy that, you remember Hume Woods?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So a guy that was a general manager at Hume Woods, I was buying a lot of material from him, and he called me up and said, hey, I want you to come to this thing where you can invest and you can buy payphones, or buy this investment, and it's, from blah, 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 and Mike Rosen will be presenting. So I went to this little luncheon thing, and he was talking about how you can buy payphones,
And get the money to get
and then you would get the money that the payphone generated. And I didn't invest, and I kept thinking, well, that's a really good idea. And I came really close.
How many years ago?
I would say 93, 94.
Oh, then I can see. Okay.
So they were saying, buy the payphone, and I was just saying, Ma Bell was really smart to sell those because they knew cell phones were coming, right? And so there was probably a 3 or 4 year window that you would have made money on.
Yeah, we did.
And then cell phones came out, and then they went away.
We owned a building in 20s in Walton. We saw 5 points, my dad and I. And we did that. We had it on a 3-year contract, and it started going downhill at the end of the 3 years. We made a lot of money on it. What it was.
I just remember.
What did they do with all the payphones? They just
They're
sold them?
gone.
What happened to them? Where they sell them? Or?
Well, they sold them to, like, so you could buy a payphone at a Quick Lube or at a Quick Stop or, a gas station. And, and I was telling my daughter, I was like, I remember going to the bank and buying rolls of quarters when I was in the deck business when I was like 21, 22 years old. So I would get a page, call, and then I would drive to a gas station, put in a payphone, and make a phone call.
I bet those things went out of the country.
Hello, how are you? I'm Tom, and I want to solve your problems. I want to help you spread the word about the show. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on the iHeartRadio app. You can download us on iTunes and everywhere else, and you can go to referralist.com and watch us. Just spread the word, please. More and more people need to hear about the help that we do for people free of charge. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors like this hour, brought to you by Revitalized Health. And you probably know them by thehormonebros.com. Three brothers who run a clinic at Ken Carroll and 470. And what they do is optimize your hormones through BioT treatments, which is the pellet treatment for testosterone and estrogen. And also they help with thyroid. They do other cosmetic procedures like Juvederm, microneedling to activate your own collagen. You gotta really just call them and find out more. Find out more at thehormonebros.com. You'll get a number there. Or just hormonebros.com. Welcome. Speaking of hormones, I don't know how I make this transition. Buddy Mitchell's here. He's on BioT. Dan's on BioT. Clint, do you do...
shots.
You do shots? Okay, I could see the difference. Okay. Anyway, so I'm looking, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want him as my poster child. Anyway, Buddy, thank you for being here. Buddy Mitchell's with simplyfloorsinc.com. Let's go to the phones. And a woman called about prison, and we're going to look into it off the air. But, every time we get a prison call about, a prisoner not being treated right, every single time, I'll get emails and comments on Facebook and YouTube saying, look, it's not a country club, good for him, but it's not. I mean, if truly people are mistreated in prison, that's not fair. It's not right. Okay? I'm not saying it's a country club, or it should be, but it's just not right. So we look into it just to see. Are guards confiscating personal property to keep? TVs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure the guard really wanted his 3 pairs of underwear.
Yeah. Jesse, what is what do you have? Go ahead. It's something about that call.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that guy's trying to milk his grandma. So you're allowed 7 pairs of boxers, 7 undergarments, 7 socks, sweatpants, sweatshirt, all your extras that you can buy off commissary, better socks, better towels. And, of course, there's a limit on how much you can have, but you're allowed, there's, a limit, and everybody knows the limit of what you're allowed to have. But when
you're thinking he's working on her sympathy to say, hey, I'll send you more.
Yeah.
Yep. Could be.
And so,
well, and why do you know so much?
I did 10 years in Colorado Correctional.
Oh, you're the one that just called before, right?
Yeah.
10 years. And what was it for?
First-degree assault.
10 years? Isn't that a pretty heavy sentence? Did you have a record before that?
I had a juvenile record, yes, sir.
How are you doing now? How long you been out?
I've been out for 7 years, completely. I was lucky enough to get involved in college programs when I was there.
So you would be a poster child, as we say, for the rehabilitation?
Yes.
You've turned your life around?
Yes, sir.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Kids?
Yes, 3.
Now, do kids know about your background?
Not yet, and I hope I don't ever have to.
How old are they?
3, 6, and 9.
Okay. Listen, do they do you have a hard time finding work now?
No.
Okay. Does it?
As long as you're honest with people, tell them what happened. It wasn't like I was out being a scumbag or a bad guy. And
what was the assault?
10 years is huge, man.
Yeah,
What'd you do?
Yeah, it was assault. Like, what? Did you get into a fight?
I got into a fight with a couple people, and I used a knife to.
Oh.
It should have been self-defense, legitimately, but I accept that it went where it went, and I took it.
Wow.
So
I like that. He's taking blame, man.
But a knife, wow. It's a good thing somebody wasn't killed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Good luck to you, really. Or I don't believe in luck, but I just hope things go well for you. And Greg.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'm co-signed on a loan for my car loan for my daughter.
You co-signed on a car loan, okay.
Yes. And I sent an email to Suzanne with a lot of the details.
Okay.
But we don't need to go into that.
Well, no, not right now. I'll ask what I need. So, did this car loan go south?
No, the car loan's fine.
When did that happen?
A year ago.
And make sure that you're on the mailing list, so the bank notifies you of any abnormalities. Okay, good.
I have access online
Good.
to the loan.
Okay.
And so, because of the circumstances at the time, the loan's interest rate's pretty high, 12%.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do was find out what we could do to lower it without putting through an application. Because right at this time, because of her circumstances, we can't try to refi, but we will in the future. And I can't find anybody to just say, okay, if her credit score is X and yours is X, then we can get her off the loan. Or if yours is X and hers is X,
okay. So
then
why do
that's at a lower rate?
Can I ask you? You want to do it without them pulling a credit report?
Well, they wouldn't do it without us submitting an application.
Oh, I get it. You don't want to go all that far. You just want to know what are the hopes. Well, you know, we know people that would do that for you. I mean, like if you go to any of these lenders and just call them and ask. They won't tell you?
Not yet, but I was hoping to narrow the list down.
Any bank that does car loans, if you walk in and say, look, you know, I don't want to go through the whole process of an application. I want to know roughly, what do you need? What are the requirements? Everyone's going to give you the requirements for a car loan. Everyone.
It sounds like her credit's not good, though.
Tell me what the credit is.
I don't know what her credit report is.
Maybe you just refi it in your name only.
Yeah, you're just as responsible anyway.
Well, that was, but we're trying to help her build her credit up.
Yeah, but this will not. Okay, well, I'm not going to say this will not help. It can help. What do you know? What your credit is?
Yeah, I do.
Roughly? What is it?
750.
Okay, now, if I were you, I would refi it in my name, get the best rate because you're paying a stupid amount, and then I would then have her build credit in other ways.
Okay.
It's not worth 12%.
He could probably refi right through Blinker, just his credit.
Yeah, Blinker or iLending. But I like Blinker. Blinker.com. May I ask another thing here? What's the loan balance?
$16,000.
What's the car worth truly?
It's probably worth a little more than that. We helped her out with the down payment.
How much?
The payment. How much should we give her?
Yeah.
$6,000.
Okay, what kind of car?
It's a 2012 Kia Sorento.
You better do it pretty quickly. Those are very, very fastly depreciated. They depreciate fast. You better do it.
If I put her, I thought of putting it over in my name only. The question is, how do the bank makes sure that she has the insurance? Not that she wouldn't, but there's that protection that she has the insurance that I can.
Well, if you don't trust your daughter, then none of this is going to go well, no matter what you do. But here's the deal.
Well, I trust her, but my wife doesn't.
Okay, well, here's the deal. You have, if you put the loan in your name, you have to make damn well sure it's registered in your name.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you can't take the car if something goes wrong. I mean, you got to really be clear.
And it is a pain in the butt because you'll have to go renew it each year.
Yeah, so the insurance is going to be in both of your names because you have an insurable interest. So what you do is you just have to manage it all or just trust her.
Okay.
It's a terrible situation, man. When people get tied up with their kids like this, it just puts them in financial prison. Go ahead.
She drives for Lyft and Uber. Is that an issue as far as ownership of the car, or do you know?
Not for ownership, but for insurance.
You better hope she's got the right insurance.
You better disclose it. Yeah.
She does. She sends me all that.
Is that her main job?
Right now it is because I called you before. Her son was found bottom of a swimming pool and he survived with cerebral palsy. So she has to have a vehicle big enough to carry him around now that he's 5 years old. And she has to have a car big enough to carry as many people on a run as she possibly can.
Yeah, I know. Well, good luck to you, though. You got to get out from under the 12%. That's extraordinary. You can lower the payments a lot for her. Charles, what is your comment? And we have lines open, 303 713-TALK, 303-713-8255. What's going on?
Hello?
Yeah, Charles, go ahead, sir.
Hey, I just want to make a comment about the prison and
Yeah.
stuff. One thing about it, you got to remember when they're raiding them rooms, if they don't have their all their stuff tagged right, they're going to take them. If they have more items than they'd be buying from Canteen, maybe they run in a store or something selling Canteen 2 for $3 or something. They got more items they're supposed to. They bought off Canteen. They're going to take them. So what's happening is they're taking his stuff because he either got a tag or he's got more stuff than he says he bought.
Okay, so
that's what's going on.
So they have an inventory of everything you own.
They have an inventory. They know if you start running stores and stuff, and you have all these items in there, and they say, well, why are you stocking up all that? Because you got too much, and they'll take them.
Why do they take them? Is it because they're afraid you'll use them for money?
Because you're bartering with them. Because people are bartering with them. They're giving you Canteen
for contraband, man.
Okay. 2 for $3 and stuff like that, and you're bartering in there, and they don't want you bartering.
And how do you tag something?
You got to have your name get tagged on your clothing. All get sticker tags with your name and your inmate number goes on them. That way, everybody knows whose property's who. If it's not property tagged, they're going to take them.
And you're not allowed to barter in prison?
Nope, that's a crime.
Okay, I didn't know that. Did you do time, I guess, Charles?
Yes, I have.
How much?
About total 4 or 5 years for drugs, and I've been cleaning out since 2006. Doing real good. Got a family, wife, baby, job for 13 years.
Get him in as a common man.
Great, Charles. Yeah, if he wants to come in, come on in. Suzanne, have him come in as a common man. Here's the deal.
Book me that day.
I don't realize how many ex-cons listen to my show. Huh? A lot.
Why just X?
I don't know. Well, you mean X? What do you mean? Ex-cons?
Don't they have radios?
Oh, you mean one's in jail right now?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from people in prison. If anybody in prison listens to us, let us know.
I wonder if you're allowed cell phones. Probably
no.
Way.
I don't think so. Although, I'm surprised when he said about TV and a Mr. Coffee. I didn't know you can have a Mr. Coffee. I guess when you do long amount of time, they have to have something. You can't just sit there. I mean,
I don't know, man. Those real bad cats are in solitaire. They 23-hour-a-day lockdown.
But books and stuff like that, I would imagine. Books on tape, no?
I have no idea.
Okay, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center is the place I refer people for hearing loss and tinnitus. Truly, Dr. Patty, Dr. Lisa, Dr. Borsick, I know them all, and you will feel at home with them. They truly do have your best interests at heart. They've been around for so long. If you are plagued by tinnitus especially, go see them. You have free evaluation periods with everything they do, and it's a good thing to take advantage of. They're at Clarkson and Hamden. I mean, it's best to make an appointment. Helpforringing.com is one of the websites, easy to remember. Also 303-534-0163.
This report is sponsored by the Broadmoor.
Crews are still on the scene of that stubborn crash eastbound I-76 after Sheridan. The right.
I'm doing another spot, guys.
I said
in about
bring him in
30
as a
seconds.
No, Charles. Jesse was the other guy. He said, I'm the one.
Oh, no. I just had a bad thought.
You know, he was married, had kids. People who own up to what they've done, you can't, the people that blame everybody else, you can't ever fix that.
And there's a big difference between a drug lord and a guy pulling a knife and going to the pokey for 10 years.
Well, remember what he said, though. It should have been self-defense.
Okay, what would you say?
I would say if you get in a fight and you have a knife, if two guys are after you, you have a knife, you're going to get assault with a knife.
10 seconds.
Even if they're coming after you.
Here's the bottom line. When you don't hear that, we're on the air.
Just for you, the Broadmoor. It's close to home.
So you're saying
a world away. Visit Broadmoor.com.
People in prison don't.
Okay, let's talk about
Centeno Schultz, living stem cell therapy, genuine, not a ripoff like the chiropractors are doing with amniotic fluids and their the cord blood. We're having a seminar. I'll be there December 11th. That's Tuesday. Isn't that next Tuesday? It is, right? Yeah. So I want to see you there at 6:30 in the Tech Center. Please reserve a seat if you can. Of course, if you drop by, we're not going to ask you to leave. Denver Marriott Tech Center, 6:30 next Tuesday. And really, you're going to learn why we say those other places are ripping you off and taking your money and getting hardly anything in return. You know, I mean, it has some benefit, but it's not the same as living stem cell therapy. So please mark your calendars for next Tuesday, 6:30, 303-963-9201 to reserve a seat. There's no charge and no obligation. 303-963-9201. I really hope to see you there. I'm going to show up a little early. It's at 6:30. AvoidSurgeryToday.com.
Are you embarrassed by your smile? Are you unable to eat the foods you love, afraid to laugh, afraid to live a normal life, even afraid to go out in public? Dr. Barrett's with Barrett's Dental Care. I believe that you deserve a smile that you can be proud of.
No, I totally get it. Like I said,
with the peace of mind that you can smile without embarrassment, and that your mouth is healthy.
Way far worse than that what they go through.
Boot camp's worse than prison?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Find out for yourself.
you think tying a shoelace?
Worse than prison.
Yeah, you're only in there for your 3 months or whatever and stuff. But what they do, they tell you everything what you do.
Well, they break you down.
You can't even go get a drink of water.
Place you need to visit to get
You had 1 glass of water 3 times a day with your meal.
Quiet desperation, calming.
Well, come on, you're not going to be hydrated during all those exercises?
They didn't do it, allow you to do it. If you want a drink of water, they said, okay, everybody go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, and you're underneath their drinking there. You have to be out by the time that they do it.
Afternoons 4 to 7.
They tell you when to go to the bathroom.
Our liberal Dems in Denver happily
What's wrong with this?
poor minorities.
No, I'm just saying
that.
Public school.
What do they call this phenomenon in Kansas City?
When they tell you, you got to go another time.
And it's not a compliment.
You can go up there and try to ask, but they don't might not let you.
Hi, Tom Martino here, CentryRV.com for sales and service. I want to concentrate on service right now. Up north on the 119 turnoff to Longmont and I-25, CentryRV.com. So many people don't know where to take their RV when they have one. Take it to Century RV, whether you bought it there or not. Of course, it'd behoove you to buy it there. They also have a place out west. Now, they don't do service out there, but they have a great indoor showroom just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims next to Woodley's, CentryRV.com. Okay. We are talking to Jennifer about negotiating a car insurance settlement. This is interesting. Hi, Jennifer. What's going on with you?
Hi, thanks for taking my
Yes,
call.
Jennifer.
I was rear-ended while I was stopped in traffic, and her insurance company, I don't know, it's just...
So they're not, I mean, it's a pretty clear-cut case, right? They're not trying to...
oh, yeah.
Okay. They're not trying to get out of it.
Well, I feel like they're lowballing me, and so I'm wondering if I can... What are the risks, and if I can go back and ask for more, and if there is a...
Okay, first of all, first and foremost, I say this to everyone, and it sounds like a broken record, but you don't have to negotiate with her insurance company. If you know, is it to get your car fixed or the value of a totaled car?
Totaled.
If your car is totaled, you don't have to negotiate with anyone. What you do is find out a true replacement cost, back it up, and then if you don't like the offer, you can negotiate. But if you don't like the offer, you sue the other party directly. You do not have to get caught in the muck and mire of another insurance company. What is the value of your car, basically, roughly? What is it?
It was probably very low, like 7 maybe.
Okay, because if it's under $7,500, you can use small claims court. How much are they offering you?
If I give the car to them, 4, and if I keep it, 27.
Okay. What kind of car is it?
Listen to, this logic just doesn't work. Okay, if you keep it, 27, what are they saying it'll cost to fix?
That's the thing. They said it would be, they're totaling it because the damage was estimated at over $7,000.
Well, then they're lying to you, because if the damage is $7,000, think about this logically. If the damage is $7,000, they're saying that your vehicle, if you put $7,000 into it, that would be a total of $11,000. It's worth $4,000. Do the math. You have a negative value, don't you? You have a negative value. So how can they say that with $2,700 to keep the car? They're saying to you that it has a residual value. That's what they're saying to you. They're saying to you, you can have $4,000, right? Okay?
Yeah.
You can have 4. But if you want to keep the car, what are they saying? You're only going to get 27. So they're basically saying to you, your car has a residual value. And it doesn't. They're lying to you. And their own numbers will prove it. Because right now, they're saying that your car has a residual value of $1,300. That's what they're withholding from you. $1,300. Yet they say there's $7,000 worth of damage. Well, they're full of crap, because you can tell them this. Look, and I don't know what you want to do. You can find out what it will cost to fix, okay? And if you want to get it fixed, or if you want to negotiate a deal, you say, look, it'll take a certain amount to get it fixed. I want to keep it. But I want the full $4,000, and I want to keep the car. And why would you do that? Because you can prove to them with their own numbers that it has no residual value. If they say it has residual value, they're lying to you, because they said it will take $7,000 to fix a $4,000 car. They have a -3. You have a -$3,000 right now, negative, or actually more than that.
Okay.
You see, they're saying, isn't it a -3,000, Mark? They're saying, yeah, because you'll put $7,000 into it, and it's only going to be worth $4,000. They're saying that car's worth $4,000. So to put it in pre-accident condition, they're saying it's going to take $7,000. If it's worth $4,000, it'll take $7,000 to get it on the road. It has a salvage value of -$3,000. So how can they say to you, if you want to keep the car, you can only take $2,700? That's the first thing. If you want to total the car, get comparables. Go to car dealers and get comps and fight with them. And if you can't get what you want and what you can prove, you sue that person in small claims court and forget about her insurance company. What were you going to say?
Well, I think they're saying the vehicle's only worth $4,000. We can agree upon that. What kind of vehicle is it?
Okay, but what were you going to say? Keep going.
Well, if the vehicle's worth $4,000, they're saying if you want to take it, we will give you $2,600, right? $2,700.
Which doesn't make sense.
Well, they're simply just valuing
at $1,300.
They're valuing the salvage at $1,300. Well, I don't see what's wrong with that.
Here's why. The salvage does not have a $1,300 value. Because it's worth $4,000 at its very best.
That's right.
And it takes $7,000
to fix it,
to get it there.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're probably thinking they can part it out or whatever for $1,300, junk it, melt it, I don't know, whatever they do with it.
Okay.
Pull the engine, pull the tires, pull the rims.
Then they have to give her $4,000 plus $1,300, because you can't have it both ways. They're saying somewhere that car, even in a pile of junk, is worth $1,300, and yet it's only worth $4,000. Their numbers don't make sense.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2011 Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Oh.
You know, I don't know why they nickel and dime people who want to keep the salvage. I honest to God, don't. They don't get paid. They're not going to get paid.
Maybe it's just a hassle to even go through it.
Well,
honestly, compared to just writing the check for $4,000.
Here's the deal, Jennifer.
The hassle is paying out of pocket when I wasn't at fault.
Well, hold on. You're not paying out of pocket. Theoretically,
if I take either of the deals, I will.
Hold on. Well, I'm not telling you to. I am saying theoretically, you get the value of that car. Okay? If it was a piece of junk and you can't find another piece of junk, that's not their fault. Okay?
Right.
There's no way in hell anyone should have to pay you for anything more than you lost. But you have to prove what you lost. They're not going to voluntarily give it to you. Insurance companies never do. They are lying, cheating. The entire insurance industry is built on deceit. The entire industry. It is not an industry designed to pay 100% of value, period. It's just not. So you got to go in at that premise. And by the way, I have challenged anyone in the insurance business to defy that. They even budget and even attract, investors by their line items. They never plan on paying 100% of value ever. When they say losses, they don't mean losses. They mean 80% at losses at the best. Now, if they overpay on a few, they might underpay on others. But when I say overpay, that's meaning more than 80%. They'll never pay more than 100% ever by mistake. Never. So here's the deal. You fight. And you tell them you are going to sue the other party if you don't get enough money to replace what you had. And if they say, oh, no, you have to deal with us, you ask them to produce the contract that says you must deal with them. You know, here's why they're treating you that way, Jennifer, because you're not doing what I'm telling, because you haven't asserted yourself, and they don't think you know that you can go after her.
Well, they also know this. What is she going to do? She's driving a 2011 Suzuki. Her vehicle is totaled. How does she get to work? How much money does she have? They're also calculating that she's not going to take him to court because it's going to take 3 months to show up, and she needs a check.
But you're just going to have to do it. You're going to have to sue that woman for replacement.
No,
what do you think? What do you think it will really cost to replace your car? Really?
That vehicle's worth $4,000 to $5,000 according to KBB.
I'm fine with the 4. My issue is that I'd rather keep it and get the 4 because another scam is the gap insurance that I bought. If I keep the car, gap insurance does not kick in, and if I relinquish the car...
Wait, what do you mean it does not kick in?
If I keep the car, they won't pay the remainder. So I owe $38 on it. The insurance company would give me $27, but if I keep the car, my gap insurance company says they will not pay the remainder.
Well, of course they won't because you didn't lose it. But hold on. Here's the deal. Not if the car is salvaged. But here's the deal. They should not charge you money to keep that car. They shouldn't. And I would argue that all day long.
That's not getting through my thick skull over here.
Okay,
Why?
Then pay salvage. Pay true salvage. It would not be... If you called someone to come and get that car, Mark...
You don't think it's worth $1,300?
No, it will not be. It will not be. And by their own calculations, it has a negative $3,000 value. Why don't you present that to them and ask them to show you mathematically why that is worth $1,300? And if they go by the pound, it will never go up to $1,300. You'll get yourself another $1,000 at least. But I think you should get your full settlement plus the car. Look, you tell them you're ready to take their client to court. I'm not going to repeat it again. That's it. 303-713-TALK. Ben's got a family law question. Ben, what is your question?
Well, it's in reference to my custody rights with my children.
What is it?
You know, my ex-wife has been basically making it cost prohibitive to get the kids out here to Colorado.
Well, hold on. Where was the divorce domiciled? Where was it?
It was in Missouri.
And who moved away? You or you moved away?
I did, but I followed the court's procedure of giving her advance notification.
Okay, that's fine.
She had a period in which she could object, and
how is she making it cost prohibitive?
So there's nothing in the decree that says the kids can't travel via the airline chaperone program, but she's refusing to allow the kids to travel on their own.
Now, here's what I want to say, because we have to take a break. I thought it was going to be simpler. Bonnie Shields is listening, our attorney at law for family law. Normally, if a parent moves away, even with permission, Ben, this is something you need to know. You're responsible for getting them to you, okay? Normally. Now, the argument you make is, I don't mind paying normal expenses, but why extra expenses? Isn't that in a nutshell?
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
so hold on, and we'll talk about that coming right up. All right, that is what we will concentrate on. 303-713-TALK. One clear choice, Garage Doors, the place to call if you have a garage door problem immediately. They will be there. Broken spring, they'll be there. But what about you just want to know what condition it's in? Get the free Martino inspection and tune-up and safety adjustments free. They want to put the sticker on there and be your company. They want you to know what a great company they have. And if they find anything wrong, they'll let you know. New openers, for goodness sake, start at just $333. Fully Wi-Fi compatible, battery backups, and more. 303-565-6409. OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630.
I'm going to start running a timer next week on every spot.
Start getting used to it.
Yep.
Well, we don't even know what the times are yet, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to practice. Oh. Yeah. So I'll get.
Stocks plunging in afternoon trading as the rest of the
No, we're all loosey-goosey on our clock, but
China trade fears.
we got a new clock. We're going into what's called HD. We're so oversold, it's insane.
And it'll cost you a little less for a mortgage.
But it's going to be good,
Rates
too.
falling, although home borrowing rates remain much higher than a year ago. Mortgage giant Freddie Mac says the average rate on the benchmark 30-year
it's just the way, because we're just going to a new clock. The clock being what time we start, go to break, stuff like that. We're just going to get stricter on the clock.
And expanding home deliveries for prescriptions nationwide. As it teams up with FedEx to launch a next-day prescription home delivery service. Patients enrolled in Walgreens Express will receive text notifications when their prescriptions are ready. And for $4.99, they can have their prescriptions delivered by FedEx to their home as early as the next day.
We're installing about 10 jobs a week, so I don't know everybody. But I recognize her name. Okay.
Imagining everybody bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates.
Where are you looking?
Or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking.
So we arrested that Chinese lady, and they just raided some building, and they might arrest some of our CEOs. Can you imagine we're going to do a CEO swap? The head of a Chinese phone company, big company.
What did they do?
The phone company or the person?
Espionage. They dealt with...
They sold shit to Iran, which is part of the sanctions.
And they're based here.
So she basically got arrested in Canada. She's the CEO of the company, and we're trying to get her extradited.
We arrested her?
No, the Canadian officials arrested her, but we want her. So the Chinese will look
to sell something to Iran.
Fuck yeah!
Espionage. They're stealing our company's technology, and they're selling it to other people. So you invent.
That's different than selling a product. This has got to do with they broke sanctions. So the Chinese, it looks like what they just did is raided a building where apparently there's some of our bigger CEOs in it. Wouldn't that be wild? We see like a swap.
You know what would be real wild? If the company's just pulled out of there, out of China. That would be wild.
No, they wouldn't do it. Come on, man, it's money, bro.
Not if they're losing people, it ain't money. Well, they don't care about people. They're communists. No. The CEOs.
They're not pulling out. You know how much it would cost to make an iPhone in Texas? Then you would see. You'd have Texans jumping out of buildings.
This is why they don't invest in Africa, because Africa's, they can't protect their people.
They can't do anything. Yeah. No, that's very
ApprovalReverse.com. Remember that website. ApprovalReverse.com. Joan Sullivan and her team do reverse mortgages, but only if it's good for you, and in some cases it is, because you can tap the equity, get a loan, and not pay it back as long as you're in the home, and you can never go negative on it where you owe more than the house. ApprovalReverse.com. Good for some, not for others. Now, Bonnie Shields is listening, our attorney at law, family law expert at 303-798-1927, and Ben asked about travel arrangements. He said basically, I moved away. I understand. I have to pay to get my kids to me for visitation, but is it reasonable for the wife to make it extra difficult for me? In other words, I want to fly them out here on a chaperone program, and Ben, instead of that, where the airlines provide somebody to watch them get on and off, she's insisting on what, Ben?
She's insisting that I fly in
and pick them up,
fly them out with me.
All right.
Then fly them back.
How about if she said, oh, the only way these kids can fly is first class?
I don't know. So, Bonnie, on his point, can she demand what she's demanding?
I think it depends on what's written in their agreement or their court orders. If it's not addressed at all.
And it most likely is not.
If it's not addressed at all, she's assuming that she gets control over that. He's assuming that he should be able to fly him out. His position certainly sounds more reasonable, and he's probably going to have to file something with the court and ask the court to clarify that.
That's the problem. That's what it is, Ben, when it's not addressed. And even when it's addressed, really, how is it addressed? I don't think you would have addressed the kind of flying to begin with. I wouldn't have. Right. Go ahead.
Tom, he made an interesting point to me. If he has the same parenting and custody rights as she does, what stops him from bringing him out to the kids out to him and live with him and make her do that?
Because he moved away. Whenever the divorce is domiciled, whoever moves away loses their right.
Okay.
You voluntarily lose your right. I mean, the court could order it based on the welfare of the child, but it's not going to be the default. And you don't have equal rights when you move away.
I wonder where a judge would really come down on that if there's nothing in there, and let's say he wants to get them a Greyhound bus out here, and the mother goes, no, you need to fly them. I mean, it seems insane.
Bonnie?
I think it's going to be, I mean, I'd like to know how old the kids are. How old are they?
They're 7 and 12.
So I see nothing wrong with this chaperone program. I see a huge problem putting them on a Greyhound. So
I mean, I want to fly them on a well-known airline.
It's
like
called
Southwest.
What's Reasonable. That's what it's called. What's
That's
reasonable.
exactly it, Tom. You're right.
And that, unfortunately, must be clarified by the courts.
Now, I mean, I'm having all kinds of issues with access to the kids, including her not answering the phone, not allowing the kids to answer the phone.
He's getting punished because he moved away, it sounds like.
Well, here's the deal. You have to file a motion. It has to be where they have jurisdiction, which is back in Missouri, and you're going to have to say, I want a clarification. And there's no way around it. I mean, I don't know why we're belaboring it. There's just no way around it. 303-713-TALK. Roger says I'm misinforming people about salvage. Go ahead, Roger. Roger?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just calling about the salvage on total losses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, the way insurance companies determine salvage, it's much like how they determine the value of the vehicle. So if you take a vehicle that's determined to be worth $10,000,
yeah,
they'll actually, and this is most of your major carriers, they'll contact the salver that sells the salvage. They'll give them the year, make, model, area of impact, nature of damages, and they're able to determine what the salvage will actually or historically has sold for in the past.
Okay.
So, for instance, if a car is worth $10,000 based on market evaluation, they'll contact their salver, give them all the pertinent information, and come back with a salvage return of anywhere from 10 to 30, 40%, depending on the vehicle. So they're usually not pulling numbers out of the air.
Roger, I didn't say, I did not say they're pulling it out of the air. I said you don't have to agree with it because I don't think there is a law that says they're allowed to do that. It's a negotiating fact just like anything else. So the way I would argue it is if it takes me $7,000 to get a $4,000 car on the road, I would argue anyone who acquires that car has a $3,000 loss. Now, I do understand that there is a value for all of the parts and like, for example, weight of steel, but I won't make that argument for them. I let them make it. I mean, that's all. I mean, sure, you're right. It does have a value. But I would also argue they're not taking into consideration the transportation and all of that and all of the hassle to remove the part and sell the part. That salvage value, I am sure, is inflated. Let's put it that way. Even though my argument may not work. Like Mark says, of course, Tom, it has some value. But I don't think they always ding you because they look at that's a way to cheat the customer even further. And that's how insurance companies work. How can we cheat the customer? The entire function of an adjuster is to cheat the customer out of a 100% claim. Talk it down. That is your job. You will never have an adjuster say, oh, let's get you more than that. Yeah, no, you need to get a lot more than that. And if he does do it, he's not going to have his job long.
You know, mine was absurd. You know, the first offer they offered me on a total car was, I think it was either 14 or 16. I ended up getting 23. So when you say their rule is to try to screw you, there is no joke about that,
and here's
man.
the deal. Individuals in insurance, I'm not calling all of you scumbags, and I'm not saying you intentionally.
Just a majority.
I'm not even saying you intentionally want to hurt people. The industry, it is predicated on not paying losses 100%. They can't. It's predicated on trying to minimize loss, not maximize them, minimize them. If they go to a home and you have windows involved in a storm, they're not going to voluntarily allow for site allowance. They're not going to tell you that. There are so many coverages they're not going to tell you about. Pastor Richmond, one of my favorite people with East Bible, whatever. I always forget the name of your church. And you do such great work around the holidays. What are you calling about, Pastor?
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for all the help and appreciate your support, and also wanted to give a commend to,
not a condemnation. No, not from you.
No, I'm sorry.
You want to commend us for what?
Right, Zero Res, they came through yesterday with all those donations that were given to them.
Oh, that's so good. Zero Res, when they were on the show, said they like to collect food as part of their thing when they go to clean, and they want to pick a charity. And we said, why not pick Pastor Lauren? And Pastor Lauren with East Denver Bible Baptist Church, thank you, Suzanne, for writing that up there. That's the proper name. They dropped off the food. And how is there anything else we can prepare people for if they want to help, and either in volunteering or in food?
Well, we're good on food. We could always use help around the, Christmas. If God supplies, we'd love to be able to have gifts to give out. That's just as whatever comes in.
Okay, and when do you do the feeding? Again. When do you do the feeding in December?
We don't do the feeding other than giving up some really nice food boxes.
Okay, and when do you do that? From any time from now on to the end?
Yes.
Okay. So what can people do to get in touch with you?
They can either call my wife at 303-916-3214.
Okay.
Or my number, 303-916-3246.
Okay. Now, this is if people have gifts to donate, if you have food, if you have, for the food boxes, non-perishable, if you have time to give, to deliver stuff, Mark and Suzanne and family, they're there. I've done it a few times, and I think you did it you did it just last Thanksgiving, didn't you?
Yeah, we just did it.
Yeah, and it's such a cool thing to do. Pastor Lauren Richmond and his wife. So let me give that number, 303-916-3214, and I can honestly say that every penny goes to the intended purpose. Pastor Lauren and his wife have literally given up they have secular jobs, or had, I think he retired, just to do this church.
Yeah, he was a coach.
So he doesn't live off the church. And that's 303-916-3214.
You know, he brought up cleaning. I've got to tell you something. I know you used Excel for years and years and years.
Excel services.
Yeah. We just hired them not long ago.
Yeah.
They come out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They are so affordable. And on top of that, Suzanne and I both work. We have teenage kids.
Buddy was just asking about a house cleaner.
I know, but when he brought up cleaning, it made me think of it. They're the best out there. When did you find these guys?
God, they've been cleaning my house for 10 years. Now, here's what I want to say. And I told this to Buddy off the air if you listen to the feed. Here's what I find amazing. He has a bunch of house cleaners. How does he keep the quality consistent? Because it doesn't matter. I don't know what crew does your house, Mark.
I don't know either.
Does my house, but they're not the same crews, but it's the same. It's almost like they have this list or this thing. What?
Well, because Tom, he sends supervisors out and supervises the job to make sure the checklist is getting done, and it's done periodically when they come out and clean your house. Plus,
when we get home, they have
Tom,
the thing.
He comes out himself for the initial bid, which I love.
I had a little charger one time, the cube that had cracked, and I had that, and it still worked. One day I find a note saying, I think we may have cracked this, and tell us how much it costs, we'll replace it. And it had been cracked, and of course I said, you didn't do that, it was broken already. They didn't know. So they just erred on the side of them. Anyway, let me quickly, since we did this, give you their number. 303-683 3470. You will never find better house cleaners. Here's what they'll do for you. They'll do one deep clean. They'll come regularly and do deep cleans like once a month. Or you can do weekly, or you can do bi-weekly, where they do what you want. Like, I'm meeting with them about this new thing I have. This other property, I don't stay in that much. I'm meeting with them next week, and I'm going to go over what I want done, because I don't want everything done all the time. And you can do that. You can pick and choose, and they're great people.
And they are reasonable.
They also don't have any contracts. So, you don't like him anymore? Bye-bye. And that's great. Also, they also do windows. Yes, carpets, even gutters, and putting up and taking down Christmas lights. Too good to be true? Look for them. Excel. You know, it's the same Excel as Excel Roofing, not the same company. These guys are Excel Services Network.com.
This report is sponsored by Peloton, the perfect gift for them and you.
303-683-3470. That's 303-683-3470.
Or you can find them at Referral List at referrallist.com.
I'm going to call them because we've been talking about getting a house cleaner for like a
And
year.
they're reasonable as hell.
So we gave up our house cleaner, and she was fantastic, and made our kids do it. Now our house is always dirty. Time to hire a professional.
Yeah, or you spend all that time pitching at them to clean it.
Right. You didn't do this right. You didn't do this right. You didn't do this right. You know.
No, they're great. They come to our house every 2 weeks. Good set price. I like the checklist. We did the floors. We did this. We did this. We did this. We did this. And then, like, maybe once a month. How big's your house?
3,400 square feet.
I bet $100 every 2 weeks.
$200 a month.
Maybe. It might even be less than that.
Not bad.
But he'll come out and give you the exact thing.
Here's what I have to say. On Deal or No Deal, did you ever notice?
Did you watch the new one again?
Briefcase, but they never let the guy go in and examine it. Wouldn't it be easy to have another layer?
Are you watching the new one?
Yeah.
Is Howie Mandel doing it? Is it good?
I hate the show, but I'm. It's like an accident. I keep watching it.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. We have plenty of time for calls, but we cleared them out, so get right in at 303-713-8255, please.
How many people call you up, buddy, and say, hey, I want to get my wife flooring for Christmas? Is that crazy, or am I the only guy that would think of that?
Mark and I had an argument about this, that certain things do not qualify as gifts, and I mean that. Vacuum. I do not think a vacuum is a gift for your wife or your husband.
And Suzanne loved it.
You know what? She may have loved it, but I don't think
Should have seen the anniversary gift I got her.
Okay, what do you think, Suzanne? Do you think a vacuum was a good gift? You liked it. Come on.
Well, we use Excel Services.
Yeah,
I don't know the last time I've used the vacuum.
Look, I make jokes about my honey, my wife. Here's what I say: if I want to hide money, I have to hide. I can hide it underneath the vacuum. It will never be found. Never be found in a million years. Gwen, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for listening. I was just calling seeking advice about estate planning. I lost my dad in September of this year, and my brother and I are his only surviving children.
There's only two of you. What's the estate where? Oh, wait. So, did you say he died already?
Recently in September.
Okay,
yes.
so it's not estate planning; it's estate settling.
Yes, it's settling.
Did he have a will? Did he have a will?
He has a will. It's been filed with the county court that he resided in.
And does it require that you transfer ownership of anything? Like real estate or cars or anything? What did he leave?
Well, a couple of things in question are my dad has a commercial lot.
Okay.
And he listed that to be sold with his realtor.
Yeah, that's going to need transferring. What else?
He has vehicles and trailers.
Yep, that's going to need to be
on that lot.
You could have a small estate probate, which is much less complicated, and it depends. I would just call David Salisbury. He will answer these questions free. In other words, if you called him and said, David, here's what's going on, he would say, you know what, you have a small estate, and this is what I can do, and he has flat rate pricing. Or you could say, I just want to hire you. But I would just ask questions first. So why don't you just call him and ask all your questions? But I will say this, in general, not in general, every time, ownership has to be transferred. You need to do it through probate if it's not in a trust. And probate can be, for small estates, a small probate, where you go in and it's very simple. Now, there are other ways. There are other ways for people listening to transfer stuff, and that is, if you have a home, you can do a beneficiary's deed. It's very easy. So when you die, it automatically gets transferred. there are ways to do it to avoid probate through trust as well. Suzanne.
So her dad's companion of 25 years is wanting rights to some of that estate. If they weren't married, would that companion have rights?
Could.
Because I think part of the estate's been thrown in probate, but I didn't quite understand what she was saying on that.
Gwen, your father had a live-in. Gwen?
Yes.
Did he have a live-in?
A living companion, yes.
Okay. Was it a woman or a man?
Woman.
Okay. Well, there's a reason I asked, because there were marriage laws that recently changed. But did they hold themselves out as being married? Did he introduce her? He didn't introduce her as his wife?
No.
Would she think that?
Did they have separate accounts on everything?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. If they're not necessarily married, is she claiming she was married to him, common law?
Not that I know of, and she's not communicating to.
Was she living with him, Gwen? Because I think you said she was living.
Oh, well, of course, living with him.
And she was living with him.
Okay,
yeah.
that doesn't make you married. Another thing, Gwen. In the will, does he mention her?
He mentions her only in the sale of the home.
What does he say? What does he say?
That the sale of the home would be split between her, myself, and my brother.
Then just go by the will. There's no big deal whether you're married or not. If he wants her to have, you go by the will.
Tom, I think she's contesting it, the companion.
But she has an attorney that filed the will, which I guess was the legal thing to do with the court. But now it seems like she is requesting a third of the proceeds of the sales of the vehicles, as well as the commercial property that my dad listed with his realtor just a few days before.
Well, let's put it this way. Does he address those things in his will? If he doesn't, you got a problem. If all he listed was the house, and he did not list the other property, she could easily make the claim that if he revised his will, since he had me on the house, he would have had me on the other stuff. He really could. So did he leave those out? That's the bad thing about leaving stuff out. Did he leave it out? That's a yes or a no.
Or did he list that it went to you?
Did he leave out the other property, or is it in the will?
Well, it talks about real property and personal property.
And what does it say about real property? You know what? It doesn't matter, Gwen. Whatever it says, you do. Okay? I don't need to know. Jim, what's going on with you? Jim, welcome. What's happening?
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
I have a quick question about credit card debt resolution.
Yes.
I went through a bad period 2-3 years ago. Piled up probably $50,000 of credit card debt on a couple, 3 different cards. A couple of those accounts have been sold to collection agencies. A couple of them have not.
Okay.
I am in a position to catch up.
How much cash do you have? Lump sum.
I probably will have $100,000.
Then you're going to need to pay it or make or settle it, and I would have an attorney do it, and a Wink and Wink does it. And
Wait.
What?
Debt relief a la carte. It's all they do is credit card
debt. You know
debt.
what? He would do it. You're right about that. I forgot. This guy will only charge you what he saves you. He'll only charge you a portion.
A percentage of what he saves you. That's
a great one, because I forgot about that. He does settlement of credit card. That's all he does.
Just credit cards.
Okay, now I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
The credit cards themselves, the banks that issue them, some of those debts are still with them, and some have been sold to collection.
So what's the question?
The question is, should I even bother settling with the collection agent?
Of course you should.
Okay.
Of course you should. I mean, whether it's a collector or the bank, you settle with whoever owns the debt at that time with proof that they own it, and with final resolutions always put in writing.
Unless it's been past 6 years or whatever the statute is.
If these have been past 6 years, they can't come after you.
No. No,
okay.
They're more current than that.
Call that guy, though, man. He's unbelievable. He'll save you a ton of money, and he's mean when it comes to negotiations.
Yeah, he's good. Tell him what it is again, Mark. Debt a la carte?
Debt relief a la carte, referrallist.com. Search debt.
Yeah, you'll find it. Now, for Buddy Mitchell. Buddy, thank you. It's simplyfloorsinc.com, and I will give out that number, 303-456-4660. And that's simplyfloorsinc.com. I'm Tom Martino. You can find help, information, and referrals at referralist.com. Save all your problems for me. Adults who have...
Buddy, you got a few minutes? We'll go talk?
Sure. Yeah, and decide what you want with my video.
Yes.
His video.
You just got to sit down and knock that out. We've been
I'll knock out what he wants. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what. 30 seconds.
What do you want, 30 ones?